Don't bite a nigga toe. That nigga ain't gonna do nothing. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach today. We pick this up at John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they was testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? All praise esteem to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's get this Psalm 60 on out of the way. That means you can't get up there on your own. That's what that means. That means you need some help. You ain't got enough sense to ask for something. You won't sit there and cry. That ain't the way to go about it. O Elohim, you have cast us off. You have scattered us. You have been displeased. O turn yourself to us again. You have made the earth to tremble. You have broken it, healed the breaches thereof, for it shake. You have showed your people hard things. You have made us to drink the wine of astonishment. You have given a banner to them that fear you, that it may be displayed because of your truth. Selah. That your beloved may be delivered. Save your right hand and hear me. Elohim have spoken in his Kadash. I will rejoice. I will divide Sechem and meet out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine. Manasseh is mine. Ephraim also was the strength of my head. Yehuda is my lawgiver. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph you because of me. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me into Edom? Will not you, O Elohim, which have cast us off, and you, O Elohim, which did not go out with our armies? Give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man. Through Elohim we shall do valiantly, for he it is that shall tread down our enemies. Let's take a look at something right here. Let's look at this. Moab is my washpot. This nigga said, are you the option before lotion? So for washpot, you have Rahas Sir. We have Rakats, you have washing. Raj Cotton Sod. And you can go ahead with whatever you got. Raj Cotton Sod, you're dealing with washing. Remember, he said Moab is his wash pot. Rosh, cotton, sod. And seer is for pot. Samak, Yad, and Rosh. Just so you can know by definition. It also means a thorn, a hook, and a briar.
What's the word for it?
Well, the words are rakat sir. That's what you have for wash pot. But it could be a washing pot, or a thorn, a brook, and a briar, a hook or a briar. So with Moab being a hook or a briar or a thorn, that's going to change the definition of or the meaning of what you're looking at. He's going to divide something. Let's take a look. Michael, you know what he's going to divide? You don't know, because you don't even know your multiplication tables. Yeah, I said it. Huh? How did it even know it's true? You just validated it. Nobody knew what was going on with that. They could have just been saying he being a nigga again. Now you telling them you don't know your multiplication. She know her multiplication table. She just don't know the long ones. Like, 25 times 25. Nobody knows that. Do you know it? Go ahead and tell us what it is then. You need a moment. You don't know what it is.
625? I know it. The 625?
I think so.
Maybe.
I feel you, because it'll take me a moment because you got to parse it out.
Yeah, it's 625. Oh, I didn't tell it. I graduated from Harvard. Sure. You deal with payroll, you gotta know your members.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying?
Payroll every week. So
that boy said every week he divvied it up. You don't divvy. He say you divvy. Well, I said I was going that. I don't know. You know your division? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's Maybelline, nigga. Yes, Matthew 25. I know how to divide, but not big numbers though.
I'm a calculator man.
That what it is. He just said it right there. Now see if he said he calculated man. Now you offended too. Nigga, you act like you around here on a regular day. What's 1,500 times 60?
I ain't gonna lie. That's always been me.
You ain't doing 1,500 times 60. You ain't doing that. You multiplying square footage.
That should be like about 90.
You know what I'm saying?
90,000.
Yeah. Because I know for certain.
What you want to do?
That boy say 90 bands.
Yeah, 1,500 times 60.
I ain't gonna tell you no lie. When it come down to I need 45,000 square feet times 17 cents, nigga. I'm not multiplying that out of my brain, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got time for that. Shalom, man. He done handed you. He done helped you out. He done helped you out. He done handed you a calculator. You know what I'm saying? Help you out. See, a nigga making it easy with them good even numbers. Because when you go to talk about what's 1,515 times 32, nigga looking like nigga what? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
yeah, piece of paper easy. Because in your mind, you might get the numbers scrambled up.
I'm waiting for your answer. My answer is 90.
He said 90,000. What you got?
It is.
It is. You can't count.
I gotta do this table.
1,500 times 60 is 90,000, man.
Let's just stick to it.
You lost this round.
No. We'll come back.
You can say no. No, you said this is now, Michael, you've been redeemed. Because she read it out on you, and she said it wasn't 90,000, and it was. Stanley said he can't stood in the gap to be Michael's kinsman redeemer. You took that in.
You go big numbers in the video.
Boy, you still carrying that whistle, boy?
No, I think I threw away 2016. Yeah, that is. Boy.
Oh, Kelly, you knew about that whistle?
You don't know about that whistle.
What you mean? That nigga used to walk around with a whistle. That nigga just randomly.
The nigga said like a lame joke. I saw him blow the whistle.
In his pocket.
Keychain.
No, it wasn't no freaky junk. The nigga just had a weird whistle. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga used to get caught with that junk a lot. That nigga be mad.
I used to blow it and come to the door.
I hear Matthew
2015, 2016.
Matthew 25 and 31.
Y'all went around.
When the son of Adam shall come in his esteem and all the Kadash Malakim with him. Saran said he know about the whistle. He saw you with it on camera. They say, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another. Excuse me, as a shepherd divided sheep from the goats, He shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come to Baruch the Abba, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Shalom, man. So that's what we're dealing with. Thorns and briars. He said Moab is a thorn and a briar. Let's take a look at Jeremiah. We're going to get to the Philistines. Hey, man, get up out the flow, cuz. Sit up out the flow. You tripping, man. Sit up. Well, your daddy going to get you, boy. Let's think of Jeremiah 48. Jeremiah 48. This is Moab's prophecy in the book of Jeremiah. Against Moab, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Yasharal, woe unto Nebo, for it is spoiled. Kitharam is confounded and taken. Mishgab is confounded and dismayed. Y'all know who Nebo is, right? Who is Nebo, Michael? Oh, you were here for it. You looking crazy for. You were present, all that. Oh, they don't know who Nebo is. It's multiple things that are assigned to Nebo, just so you know. But the first thing you should have known was Nebo was a Babylonian god. Shalom, man. But it's also a city. In this context, it's a city in Moab. You want to know some more about Mount Nebo? Oh, you do? I bet you do. I bet you do. Come over here to Deuteronomy 32. In this instance, Nebo is not referring to the Babylonian deity, obviously. In this instance. Yes, I was aware. Deuteronomy 32 and 48. No, this is the parfum. Yes, sir. Oh, did that boy go? That boy been MIA. But they say you had that stuff. That Rona, that vid. Huh? What? I don't know what you're talking about. But is you infected? That's the question. That boy say he tough, boy, strong like leather, nigga. Yeah, what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? That boy said, look, he came in there with his hometown hat on. You see it? You see it, man? Boom, boom. He never liked them white folks up there nowhere. Nigga owe me money. Yeah, they owe me money. The whole city. Shoot. I'm going to catch it. 32 and 48. More importantly, what we tell with Nebo. Nebo is the mountain where Moses died. Because Nebo is a city in Moab. I wanted to make sure that y'all remember that Nebo was a deity. But Nebo, again, that goes back to the point that we mentioned last night, that in Hebrew, one word can refer to multiple different things. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily like 62 different words for the same thing like you got going on in English. But 32 and 48. Yahuwah spake unto Moses the self same day, saying, get you up into the mountain of Abiram under Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab. That is over against Jericho. Behold, the land of Canaan, which I give unto the sons of Yasharal for possession. And die in the mount whither you go up and be gathered unto your people, as Aaron your brother died in Mount Hor and was gathered unto his people, because you trespassed against me among the sons of Yasharal at the mountains of Meribah. Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because you sanctified me not in the midst of the sons of Yasharal, you shall not see the land before, but you shall not go thither into the land, unto the land which I give unto the sons of Yasharal. No, I just seen a dude the other day say, how can Moses write about his death? And that's just the dumbest thing I ever seen. Like Yahuwah can't give him a vision of what's going to go down. Now write that down before it happens. It's not that difficult to explain. How you going to write about his death? This man wrote about stuff that he wasn't present for. You think writing about his death going to be pretty difficult? Y'all, they act like he was posted up with Adam and them like, well, I seen it happen. Boy, got more sense. I'm talking about got enough sense as a starving dog. Oh, you did? I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. That boy said he killing time. Yeah, you ain't told no story when you told it. So yes, Nebo is a city in Moab, and that was the place where Moses was buried at. Let's continue. That's the only reason why we stopped for a moment. Verse 2. There shall be no more praise in Moab and Heshbon. They have devised evil against it. Let us cut it off from being a nation. Oh, you shall be cut down, O madmen. The sword shall pursue you. So whether you have historically, where you would have an example of Moab wanting to cut you off. Oh, no, that's not what they wanted to cut you off. They just said you couldn't walk through here. You had to go around. I think that's what you're referring to. They said y'all can't cut through here. He said y'all got to go around.
No, you saw people that did that. You saw people did that where they chased them from behind, right?
Yeah, you might be thinking about Amalek.
Amalek, yeah.
Yeah, that's a different deal. I just want y'all to know that Madman, that's literally how it's pronounced, Madman. It means dunghill. It's a place in Moab. But what is that? There you go. Saran got the nail on the head. That was Balak. Remember, he wanted to hire Balaam to curse the people because he had heard that they was going to overtake us. This is where Moab beginning of their troubles. Remember, Moab said you just couldn't cut through here in one spot. And I think that was in probably Deuteronomy. It might have been I think it was Deuteronomy. They said, y'all can't cut through here. They say, man, we just want to come through. He said, no, y'all can't cut through here. So they like, yeah, y'all gonna kill us and take our stuff. Y'all can't cut through here. You know what I'm saying? Amalek came up from the rear to try to hit the women in turn. This is when Yahuwah say, I curse your whole bloodline. I'm gonna kill all you niggas and wipe your name out from under heaven to where none of you exist. I did was looking at something. Y'all know who Larry Merchant is? Yeah, I know you don't. You don't watch them. Yeah, I know you know who it is. You don't know who that nigga is. But no, that cracker was a boxing commentator. Only reason why it's fun is because Merchant's not his last name. But I already knew he was Jewish. You could look at him and tell he was Jewish. His last name was Kaufman. Kaufman translates to merchant. You know what I'm talking about? But I mentioned that with because that's what they like to do. They was like, hey, we're going to be persecuted against. Let us change our last name. See, this is another, that's why it's many well-known people who you know of, who you see on TV and movies and on the news and all type of stuff, and they Jewish. They change their name. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to think of some more people that are Jewish that you don't know. Yeah, that man, he Jewish. You know what I'm talking about? His name is Larry Kaufman. You know what I'm saying? See, Seinfeld ain't changed his name. You know what I'm talking about? Larry David, cracker Jewish. That ain't his name. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to think of some others. Geraldo Rivera, that's not his name. Joseph Stalin, I believe, was a Jew. You know what I'm saying? Geraldo Rivera is a Jew. That's not his name.
That nigga Bill Gates, he got ties to Jewish families.
He got ties to bankers. And
Rothschild.
You know what I'm saying? But he ain't Jewish, though. I'm trying to think of another one. When I'm talking about Jew, I'm talking about people who, boy, they changed their name. So matter of fact, there was an announcer. Y'all ain't gonna know who he is. His name is Dick Stockton, called NFL Game, Jewish. Marv Albert, who you know for calling all them NBA basketball games for all them years, Jewish. Marv Albert is not his name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you look at junk up. Like I told you, Ralph Lauren, Jewish. Ralph Lauren is not his name. You know what I'm saying? I done told y'all what his name is. His name is Lipschitz. Literally, that's his last name. Man, his name is not Ralph Lauren. He's a Jewish from the Bronx or Manhattan, one of the two. You know what I'm talking about? Changed his name. You think niggas be walking around here talking about they got on some Ralph Lip shits? That ain't gonna work for you. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't gonna work for you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm mentioning that for a reason, because you can't identify Yahudim from no last name. That's why those people change their names. You know what I'm talking about? It's really more you're identified by who you worship, not by what your name is. Unlike what most of these Hebrews got. I just seen a dude say, I need to get me a new Hebrew name. Yeah, you're a new idiot. Like that means something to make you proud of yourself. Tomorrow you're going to be crying about a woman. That's real Hebrew of you. But nevertheless. Man, I'll take that juice, cuz. What you going to do about it? That's what I thought you were going to do about it. You got a doo-doo? What's up, Muffin Man? Where I'm at, man. Verse 3. A voice of crying shall be from Horonam, spoiling and great destruction. Moab is destroyed. Her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. For in the going up of Lulith, continual weeping shall go up. And the going down of Horonam, the enemies have heard a cry of destruction. Flee, save your lives, and be like the heath in the wilderness. For because you have trusted in your works and in your treasures, you shall be taken. And Chemosh shall go forth into captivity with his priests and his princes together. You know who Chemosh is, Michael? You don't know. You don't know who Chemosh is. Huh? What? A who? Are you sure about that? Or are you just saying that you think that's the right answer? What? No, nigga. No, not for real. It is. And do you know what his name means? Because clearly you've looked it up. Shalom, Brother Craig. As you should have. Huh? Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, you ain't found it yet? Look at Deidre cheating. Both of y'all get out. You still can't cheat.
Your book is on your desk.
That ain't out your book. You get an F. And Deidre gets expulsion. Yes, it means subduer. This is the national deity of the Moabites and the god of the Ammonites. But also he's known as a deity that you all know. You know what's funny? There's a cologne, right? It's called Ganymede. Y'all know what Ganymede is? What's Ganymede then, since you talking about I one of them, but that wasn't what I was going for, but I'll take it. That's the name of the largest moon for Saturn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm mentioning that because Chemosh is Saturn and Mars. You know who Mars is? Not the candy now. Know who that is? I'm talking to you. You know who that is? What about you, Callie? You know who Mars is? Man, what did people taught y'all in school? Clearly. How I learned it then.
You was being taught.
Must have. Yeah, definitely. What did you say, ma'am? No, I'm talking about what is Mars known for. I thought y'all would know because they mentioned it, the red planet. They talk about it all the time. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I see. Y'all just like nigga curriculum, huh? That's what it was. We know Michael did. You was in New York City. All you got was nigga curriculum. Mars is known as the god of war, as Aries was. That's why I call it the red planet, for anger. Y'all ain't never heard Mars being called the god of war?
probably skip past that.
I just sit for the wings.
Yeah, that's why they would say it was the red planet for blood. Yeah, for blood. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned that there because as he just stated, and as y'all should already recall and remember, that it be the same deities, but with a different name, depending on the culture or what you come in. Because Mars is Aries with the Greeks, but Mars with the Romans, Chemosh with Moab. But it's still the same deity that they worship, same rites, same everything. I just want y'all to keep that tie in because I keep telling y'all at the end of the day, the issue is always with idolatry. I just seen a dude say, you see who he the most high God. He don't get like these other gods. Like he mentioned a verse when they say all the nations gonna serve their God. But you gotta understand that the God that these people serving is gods that they made up. And they're just transferring it on and on. He also could be known as Beelzebub, and I guess y'all know who that is. Well, let's take a look. Michael, you know who Beelzebub is? Oh, you don't even know. Oh, you look flustered, you're sweating, you're scratching your forehead. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you, do you know who Beelzebub is? Oh, you know him on a personal level?
Prince of the Devil.
Prince of Demons is his name. Yeah, you ain't never heard of that? The Lord of the Flies? You ever heard of that movie?
That's a movie too.
That's a movie.
You see?
Come over here to 2 Kings chapter 1.
You knew about it.
Yeah, that's a movie. 2 Kings chapter 1. We talked about him in the text. Yeah, that's a real movie though. Yeah, Lord of the Flies, that's a real movie. Probably Lord of the Rings, probably based off Beelzebub too. I never took the time to watch such nerd films.
Yeah, I didn't. What about Star Wars?
Oh, Star Wars, if my memory serves me correctly, it's supposed to be, I know it's a Messianic principled film. That I do know. That Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker are supposed to be emblematic of Mashiach and Satan. But that's a nerd film if you ever. I just seen a dude say, which kind of guy are you? Star Trek or Star Wars? I was tripping because I'd have been on. I'm like, nigga, neither. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, man, they were talking to them niggas. That nigga say, you talking about, yeah, you know, they watch that cartoons, the anime. That nigga say, it's not a cartoon. It's anime. I'm like, you niggas gay. You know what I'm talking about? Big grown rusty nigga. That nigga was offended. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga said, anime or cartoon? God, look like he talking about, we just want a woman to understand it and watch it with us. And I'm like, that's why you niggas can't get no women. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. 2 Kings chapter 1. Don't mind me though, but hey, I ain't into none of that. You know what I'm talking about? Not that deeply. Star Wars. Yeah, I seen Star Wars, the first 3, because I was a boy. You know what I'm saying? Star Trek, because it was a TV show. Nigga, I ain't get older and be like, let me watch the rise of Anakin. I don't give a damn about any of this. I don't want to see this. These niggas be dressing up. But you know you got to be ashamed as a grown man to put on a costume, man, to go to a convention talking about cosplay. Boy, you 36. And you wonder why you got to go in the back room and get the lotion. I know. I'm just busting your balls. Hey, man, do what you like. Do what you enjoy. I ain't going to do it, but do what you enjoy. You want to dress up like a stormtrooper? That's your business. That bring joy to your life. Who am I to, you know what I'm talking about? I'm going to rank on you about it, you know what I'm saying? But enjoy yourself. At the end of the day. 2 Kings chapter 1. Don't mind it, because I know some of y'all not from Jacksonville, man. That's what niggas in Jacksonville do. They will rank on you unmercifully and relentlessly on every side of town. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no, oh, that's just them niggas. No, the citywide. I don't care if you from the north, the south, the east, the west, it don't matter. The beach, it don't matter. They gonna rank on you. Soon as they see you, look at that nigga ugly. Let's tell him. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? And you do it at close friends and all. Boy, you seen that nigga shoes? I'm gonna kill that nigga when he get around the corner. Remember that day that nigga, I told Brandon that nigga laid on the chest. I said, I called that nigga and say, boy, I'm gonna rank on you when you get there. I'm letting you know now. I don't want you to come in blind. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, I'm ranking on you, boy. As soon as you walk through the door. You know what I'm talking about? Give you fair warning. I'm on the minute I was telling Deacon, one of my employees told me, man, dude in the neighborhood tried to rank on him in front of the women. I said, oh, that's violation of rules. You don't rank on nobody in front of women. See, we ain't got no other rules other than that. Because then at that point, you could punch him in his mouth. Because now you're trying to embarrass me in front of Coochie. That's disrespect. You know what I'm talking about? You get beat up. You laughing. Ain't that am I lying though? That's the only rule. Boy, you don't rank on dudes in front of women, try to embarrass them in front of no women. That's disrespect. All bets is off about that. And if a nigga tell you, boy, I ain't with that ranking junk, he let you know I'm gonna beat you up. So if you can't fight, leave that man alone. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you can't fight, leave that man alone. Because you might have to bump. You know what I'm talking about? But pretty much everybody in the neighborhood, you're going to know who ain't really with that junk. You leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Now, also, if you see like, hey, that nigga finna cry. And not like cry because, you know what I'm saying? Like it's going to mess with him mentally. You leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? It's for sport. It's never for embarrassment. It's strictly for sport. It's a battle of wits. You know what I'm saying? Some people, when they get down here, they don't realize, all them niggas do is crack jokes. What's wrong with them niggas? That's what we do here, nigga. Better jokes than bullets. 2 Kings chapter 1 and verse 2, because these boys giving bullets out here. Then Moab rebelled against Yasharal after the death of Ahab. As Isaiah fell down through a lattice to his upper chamber that was in Samaria and was sick, and he sent his messengers and said unto them, go inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this disease. Y'all remember, we talked about this here too. You might not remember because it's not a lot about Mr. Beelzebub. But Beelzebub, the lord of the fly, as previously mentioned, this was also a Philistine deity. So we get to remember, do y'all remember what that triumph you because of me in Psalm 60 referring to the Philistines? Do y'all remember what that meant? Do y'all recall? If you don't, it's okay, because it ain't been a Leah. Oh, you didn't want to come give me a hug, did you? Huh? Oh, you did? Oh, you did? All right. All right. Just go ahead and tap out. Come here. How are you, Pop? Do y'all remember what triumph you because of me translated to? You can look it up if you wish. Will triumph you because of me translated to Yahuwah was going to destroy them in the shortest and most succinct way that I can describe that. But now let's turn around and let's look at Beelzebub in the verse that Michael referenced. Let's go look at it in Mark chapter 3. Mark chapter 3, verse 20. School it, man. Verse 7, man. Mark chapter 3, verse 7. Now, again, if you notice, when we looked at Egypt, when we talked about Egypt in that Jeremiah, even when we dabble with a little bit of the Babylon, we ain't even really delve off into the Philistines. Kalisha, do you know the main deity of the Philistines that is contained in the book of Samuel? Because you look like you're not here, because you get out. Get F. Go out on the playground with your friends, smoke cigarettes. That's what y'all used to do in school, ain't it? Oh, I thought y'all used to take your stepdaddy's cigarettes and go out on the back porch and smoke. Because Because you know, if mama don't smoke, she don't look like that. That's gonna mess my skin up. Smoking cigarette do mess with your skin. You don't know the main Philistine deity mentioned in the book of Samuel? That's unfortunate. What about you, Civic? Do you know the main Philistine deity mentioned in the book of Samuel? Oh, that's unfortunate as well. What about you, Tavon? Oh, he's trying to look it up. Ah, that's unfortunate. What about you, Darius? Do you know the main Philistine deity mentioned in the book of Samuel? Kira ought to know. If anybody on this stream should know, Kira ought to know. If Kira don't know, well, we getting in the car. What? No? Who? What? I don't understand. What are you telling me? You asking me? You throwing it out? Is it?
It is.
Why would you say that?
Your wife said it.
I don't care what she said.
She's lying.
That don't mean she right.
It's right.
How? Because she said it.
It's right.
Because she said it.
Because it's right.
Why is it right? Samuel well. First Samuel what?
Right, because
Five what?
1%.
I ain't mad your husband helped me. That's his job. I don't dispute those claims. I can allow it. Look at them. I ain't cheat. Shoot, they name on the same paper as far as they concerned. Dagon is what kind of God, though? Wrong answer. Fish God.
a little fishy.
Some people like fish. Not the fish you eat. You know why Dagon is important and who he relates to? In present times, nigga. Present times. I'm talking about like today. Aquaman, no. Aquaman, all jokes aside, pause. Aquaman relates to Neptune. Yeah, that's Poseidon. He relates to Neptune.
Is that the Starbucks mermaid?
No, Starbucks mermaid is asteroid. Yes, sir. Saran has the correct answer. That is the Pope. The Pope wears the hat of Dagon on his head as it is this day. That little fish hat he wearing, that's for Dagon. That little fish junk they put on the back of the car talking about home for Jesus, that's Dagon. I'm dead serious. Hold on. I can't hear. What's that? Over the Pope. They go crazy over the Pope because the Pope calls himself the Vicar of Christ, which translates to substitution of Christ, meaning that he is in Christ's place on the earth. See, most people do not go crazy over the Pope, only people who are Catholics. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, out of all the denominations, shalom, Christina, of all the denominations of Christianity, Catholicism is the largest. So, see, because clearly, you know, Rome is there, and Vatican City is in Rome. Vatican City is one of the 4 city-states left on the earth. I forget the other 2; they escaped my brain, but one of them do. Matter of fact, that might be all 4 of them. I might be mistaken. It's Vatican City, Washington D.C. There's one in Britain and somewhere in London, and there's another one. It might be. It might not be for somebody can Google it. It's escaping my brain. Yeah, but Washington D.C. is a city-state. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that it is not in a. It's separate principality. That's why it's not in the state of Virginia or Maryland. It's just considered its own separate entity. Vatican City is in Rome, but it's considered. And when it says its own separate entity, it means it has its own government, own all that. That's why people who live in D.C. can't vote for president or Congress or anything of the sort. They're not considered to be United States citizens when you live in Washington, D.C. Yeah. So Monaco, I forgot what Monaco is known for. That's what it is. That's what I thought it was. Gambling. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what that is. I'm not sure if Pope means father. Somebody can look that up also. I can't recall. But they say the first Pope was Peter. which is not scripturally accurate anywhere, but that's what they say. The first pope was Peter. And basically, it's like I said, it's the largest Christian denomination on the earth. When you go to Central and South America, when you go in the Caribbean, the mass majority of people there are Catholics. Definitely, you know this here going to New York City, especially on the Northeast, the majority of Catholic cathedrals are in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Anytime they have anything for the president that has to do anything with a church, he's going to the cathedral in New York City or the National Cathedral in D.C. You know what I'm saying? That's why they all got to meet the Pope. They all got to bow down and kiss the ring. All of them got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because as far as they're concerned, he is Christ on the earth. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, that's what it means. Vicar of Christ. That's what he's called. Oh, very easily. So you must become when you join the papal system, if you join the Catholic Church, then you become a priest and you have to swear off women and have sex with little boys. The little boys part is optional. No, I get that. Now that's right, Sade, because that's why I've been mentioning that. Because Sade mama is Haitian, and the mass majority of Haitians are Catholic. You know what I'm saying? Mass majority of the Jamaicans are Catholic. Mass majority of people in the West Indies, period, are Catholic. Yes, because indeed, I mean that's why the case. No, Reagan was not Catholic. The only president that was Catholic in the history of the United States of America was John Fitzgerald Kennedy. That is the only president that was Catholic in the history of the country.
Ain't Joe Biden Catholic?
Yeah, he say he Catholic, but that crack ain't Catholic. You know what I'm saying? He say he is. You know what I'm saying? But you know, being Irish, as you know, because you like to watch your little police friends, they got to be Catholic. You know what I'm saying? Yes, see, Jessica say her father's family is Catholic. They from El Salvador. You know what I'm saying? Catholicism is big in third world countries now. Real, real big. South Central America, you know what I'm talking about? Caribbean is big. You know what I'm talking about? Europe is big. Once you get out of Europe, that Catholicism, that's why they have the highest number of members. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have the highest numbers of members. It's Kennedy, indeed. So Ronald Reagan was an actor. That man did westerns. And then he became governor, and then he became president when he had no brain. You know what I'm talking about? Because he did have dementia. George Bush ran the country for 8 years. That's why he only got 4 years as president, because he already did 12. You know what I'm saying? If you did not know. Because that man had Alzheimer's. That's not no joke. That's fact. You know what I'm talking about? They just let George Herbert Walker Bush have the ability to say, I was president. He had already been doing that. Remember, George Herbert Walker Bush was head of the CIA for a good 20, 25 years before he even became vice president. You know what I'm saying? And he tried to run for president before that and lost. You know what I'm saying? In the primary. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But see, you become a priest. You know what I'm talking about? And then as you become a priest, you get promoted. And then you have to reach a certain level of cardinalship, and they pull the Pope from cardinals. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you become Pope. So Ron said he was brought up Catholic, unfortunately. Probably why I never believed the word, because they don't deal with the book. That's right. And Craig validated that for us. Pope means Papa in Italian. So when you calling on the Pope, you calling him your daddy. You know what I'm talking about? Now, to be honest with you, Catholicism is Babylonian pagan sun worship. That's what it is. And you can look this up historically. I've told you this numerous times. The Catholic Church created Islam. If you put Catholicism and Islam side by side, they have the same rites, the same rituals, the same movements. They do all the same things. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't like to hear that, but I don't give a damn. You know what I'm talking about? Correct me personally, because I already know this here. Arabs had a different god for every day of the year. They had 360 different deities. And I'm talking to Arabs, and they have acknowledged this, that this was a fact. I say, well, why you serve Allah then? So, you know, them bruises come, and some people tell me, Allah is the same God as the God of the Bible. You blasphemous, rotten, lying bastard. We do not worship vagina. Because Allah is a moon god. So yeah, once you become a high position of cardinal, then they do a little thing and they select somebody to be the pope. So basically, to become a pope is like going up the corporate structure. You know, the more booty holes you touch, the more power you can clutch. You know what I'm talking about?
They got similar to like the Mason pyramid. They got similar like the Mason pyramid.
I don't know if it's necessarily like the Mason pyramid, but I do know that you have to work your way to the top. And to become a Catholic priest or a Catholic nun, you can't get no buns, can't have no fun. The Islamic thing is different. They don't operate like that. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga just become a imam. You know what I'm talking about? They don't have a hierarchy and structure that you can work your way up to the top like a pope. They don't have that. No, they don't have none of that. Just an imam. That's it. A teacher. Now anybody can do it. They don't have no qualifications. You know what I'm saying? No, nigga just be an imam. You know what I'm saying? Imam rock bomb. It's a Saturday service at his church. They ate out the bread, brought out the bread in the sundial, bowed down, worshipped it, then went round to the statue of Mary. Then every statue in the place. That was about 2016. Because, you know, they ain't got nothing but idols in there. It's a big Catholic church over there on Merrill. You know what I'm talking about? Big Catholic church on Merrill.
What's another one? Old Middleburg.
Oh, yeah. It's
Queen of Mary. Yeah. Queen of Mary.
Queen of Mary. Queen Astaroth. They telling you in your face now. The Muslims don't recognize Yahusha at all. The Muslims believe that he was not the son of God, but that he was a prophet. I've read the Quran on numerous occasions. Matter of fact, Mr. McDoom, my English teacher, gave me a Quran. You know what I'm talking about? Personally, you know what I'm talking about? And they tell you that they believe that he didn't get crucified when he was on the tree. See, Allah took him off the tree and took him up into heaven. Because he didn't die now. That was in there. You know what I'm saying? They waiting on the Imam Mahdi.
That's what I heard.
Imam Mahdi. They waiting on the devil. They'll tell you.
That book got too many contradictions.
Mark chapter 3, verse 7. Because they wrote it. The Catholic Church wrote that. Muhammad was in a cave. The nigga couldn't read. The nigga liked little girl vagina. Do y'all know he married a 9-year-old girl? Khadijah was 9. He said she was fine. Nasty bastard. That nigga dropped meat off in her drawers. They believe in that. Muhammad say, well, I done told y'all this before. Muhammad say, if a woman ain't round, you can get down with a lamb, goat, whatever animal is present. You can knock it down. Nigga, that's an abomination before God. You nasty bastard. You that horny boy, you slide up and go coochie. It feel the same. Look at you, nasty.
We need the whistle. We need the whistle.
That was a whistle moment.
No, it's not weird because they can't discard the Bible because they deal with Abraham. I understand it might be weird to you because you may not have enough information on it. Yes, I'm not saying the Quran does not promote bestiality, but Muhammad said if there wasn't a woman around and you had an erection, you can knock a goat down. You could lock a lamb down. And they definitely believe in marrying young girls. They still do it over there to this day. You ain't got to take my word for it. Y'all grown. Look it up. It's not like we never had this conversation before. See, this is my point. You supposed to let that, you niggas arguing about if the earth flat instead of saying these wicked bastards over here knocking down 7-year-olds. Why is this nigga hitting the goat? Why you thought it was cool to look at your dog and say, well, my wife ain't here. I might as well. You know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying? It's okay, because I can tell the question you're just not familiar. And that's okay. It's not a big deal. You want to knock the dog down. Like I said, that dog ain't asked for that. He just was living. Now he being sullied. He like this here. It's not usually how I do this. You know what I'm saying? He confused. Mark 3:7. Yahushua withdrew himself with his disciples to the sea. And a great multitude from Galilee followed him, and from Yehuda, and from Jerusalem, and from Idumea, from beyond Jordan, and they about Tyre and Zidon. A great multitude when they heard what great things he did, and came unto him. Do you see where the people came from? We done read about Tyre and Zidon. They were coming from everywhere. And he spake to his disciples that a small ship should wait on him because of the multitude, lest they should throng him. For he had healed many, insomuch that they pressed upon him to touch him, as many had plagues and unclean ruachs. And when they saw him, they fell down before him and cried, saying, You are the son of Elohim. He straightly charged them that they should not make him known. See, the reason why this is important, the demons knew, but the people didn't know. See, the people want to sell out, but the demons know. We say, we know who you is, cuz. We know. And he go up into a mountain and call whom he would, and they came unto him. And he ordained 12, that they should be with him, and that he might send them forth to preach. Now, this Sunday here, too, we didn't talk about this before, and I just want to reiterate the fact. There are things that Yahushua taught the people, and there's things that he taught his apostles. And the things that he taught the people are not the same things that he taught his apostles. The apostles got a different level of information. And if you think that they got the same, you just sadly mistaken. Because it's stuff that he pulled them in the house and he taught them that he didn't teach everybody else. Why would he teach the people everything he going to teach them? At that point, it don't make no sense to send them. You know what I'm saying? Because these men got to be emissaries. They're ambassadors. They are the ones who are holding the banner because of his truth. The ones that he have selected to do so. And to have power to heal sicknesses and to cast out devils. And Simon surnamed Peter. And James, the son of Zebedee, John, the brother of James, and he surnamed them Boanerges, which is the sons of thunder. Andrew, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, the son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Canaanite, Judas Iscariot, which also betrayed him, and they went into a house. And the multitude come together again so that they could not so much as eat bread. And when his friends heard of it, they went out to lay hold on him, for they said he is beside himself. Indeed, we'll read that just because you said it. And the scribes which came down from Jerusalem said, He hath Beelzebub, and by the prince of devils cast he out devils. Now, y'all know what prince mean, right? Ruler. So he said that this is the ruler or the chief of the devils. This is the same Beelzebub that you see in 2 Kings. So they're calling him the Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies meaning the ruler of devils. You know what I'm talking about? That's disrespect. Let's look at what he tells them. And he called unto them unto him and said, How is declared unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? Because you got to understand this here, why he would say Satan cast out Satan. Beelzebub is an adversary to Yahuwah. On the opposite end of the spectrum. This is why. Isaiah 42. And then to Matthew 13, which Saran just mentioned. You all right over there? You look like a teacher that's finna whoop all the children. Don't whoop all the children. Don't whoop the children. They gonna do their homework. 42 and 5. Isaiah 42 and 5. Isaiah 42 and 5. Thus saith Elohim Yahuwah, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth, and that which come out of it, he that give breath unto the people upon it, and the ruach to them that walk therein. You see that again, what we were discussing last night? He said he give breath to the people that's upon the earth, and the ruach for them to walk. See, if this man don't breathe his breath in you, you ain't got no life in you. And again, I'm telling you, most brews don't want to talk about that. There's a lot of brew, they going to hell now. See, Paul, Romans chapter 9. I mentioned it the other night, but I didn't want you to see it. A lot of brews going to go to hell. And I don't want you to be on that trip with them. Because these boys be on some other type of time. Romans 9. You can pick it up at verse 6. You know, a lot of brews love to take this verse out of context in regards to talking about when dudes don't agree with them. And that's not what this man is talking about. Dudes be quick, all Israel ain't Israel. Don't even know what that means. Don't even know what it means. He said, not as though the word of Elohim have taken none effect. See, Paul, what does he mean the word of Elohim has taken none effect? I'm going to give you a brief one. We're not going to run through all these places because we just don't have the time to do it right now. But y'all know in Hebrews 4, he said the gospel was preached unto them as well as unto us, but didn't profit them, not being mixed with the faith in them that heard it. So what does that reference you back to? You can go back to Numbers 13. These men about to go through the land, and these men gave a bad report on the land, and the only people who believed was Yahushua, son of Nun, and Caleb. You know what I'm talking about? So it's not that the word didn't have no effect. Those two men, because he said those men had a different what? Spirit with them. You understand? These men were Elohim. The rest of the people were not. You understand? When you sit back and you look at it, when the people was lined up and they ate, drank, and rose up to play, and he said, who was on Yahuwah's side? It was 3,000 Levites that stood up to stand with Moses and Yahuwah. Because they were of Elohim, and the rest of those people were not. You understand? Then the other instance in my head, it was in my head, and then it just departed. You were willing this shall return. You know what I'm talking about? Give me a moment. No. That wasn't what I was thinking about. I was thinking about something else in the law specifically. I ain't gonna just in my mind. Nevertheless, you know what I'm talking about? And that's what you have to look at. Like, because they like to say that everybody, and they think it's a bloodline type of deal. You understand? Like, you have to look at it this way, right? This is another example of all Israel ain't Israel. Abraham had a multitude of sons. Isaac was his only begotten son, because that's the only son that mattered. Ishmael don't count. Midian don't count. None of them sons he had with Keturah count. They all are Abraham, though, but none of them have the right to the promise of Abraham except the one who was promised to him by Yahuwah. And that's what most of these dudes don't understand. Oh, you're not a promise to Yahuwah because you're an Israelite. Boy, the word's not taking none effect. So therefore, you don't live by your faith. So therefore, you're not just. So therefore, you're not of Yasharal, because what was the promise that he made to Yasharal? That you and your seed after you would dwell in this land, and I'm going to give it to you. And I'm going to do X, Y, Z. That's what he promised the man in Genesis 35. You boys not a part of that. See, they don't want to talk about that because that ain't going to make nobody feel good. You know what I'm saying? That ain't going to make nobody feel good. And that's what these dudes want. So you have to watch dudes that like to throw stuff out there over a doctrinal dispute. You know what I'm talking about? Well, everybody ain't in Israel. Well, what make you think you were the promise, you wicked bastard? You were just in there with the Vaseline, boy. Man, you got dudes who say they're in the word, talking about they've been in the word 5 years, still fighting porn. How you still fighting porn 60 months in? You still like to beat your mean, boy? I can see here, you struggling. You know what I'm saying? I still ain't overcame my flesh. 5? Well, you got dudes been in the word 10 years, still be lying. Look you dead in your face, shoot you one. You know what I'm talking about? No problem. Well, you got dudes been in the word for years, bro, and still don't think and operate like a man is supposed to. Been in it for years. And think that just cool, get on the internet all day and argue like a hoe. And guess what nigga be doing? Cheering up. That's right, up. Man, everybody supposed to slap you niggas, man. Your whole family supposed to slap you. And you wonder why people don't want to listen to you. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I ain't trying to be funny about I'm dead serious. Like, that junk is not cool. How you been in the word 7, 8 years, you still the same nigga you were when you started? Come on, man. That means you're stagnant. Y'all know what that is. You ever seen stagnant water? It give out an odor. It's rank, rancid. I'm talking about water just been sitting for days, weeks, months. You ever found water sitting in a tire that's been sitting in the yard for about 6, 7 months? It gives off an odor, a foul odor. That ain't no different than a man who's been sitting around and you the same for multiple time of years. As far as Yahuwah is concerned, that ain't no sweet smelling savor. It's giving off an odor that's an abominable to his nose. But see, them boys don't like that. You have to sit back and look at that, man. Anything you're doing as a man, boy, it's supposed to be some type of progression, some type of moving forward. It's bad if you're moving backwards. Moving backwards is bad, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Staying in the same place is worse. You know what I'm saying? Being the same for years. Because see, if you in the word, and what's the word I'm looking for? It ain't receiving. Nah, it's escaping. You know what I'm talking about? But if you're going backwards, if you're having a decline, that means who are causing you to have a decline. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no word in my brain. It's gonna bother me. You know what I'm talking about? Nevertheless, Romans 9:6. Not as though the word of Elohim have taken none effect, for they are not all Yasharal, which are Yasharal. Listen to what the man says. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all sons, but in Isaac shall your seed be called. Just because you what did John the Baptist tell them people? Don't think to say that they're under Abraham. He said he able to raise up children out of these stones to Abraham. So you being an Abraham seed means nothing. That is, they which are the sons of the flesh, these are not the sons of Elohim, but the sons of the promise are counted for the seed. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. Well, you got to be at the promise. That means you got to be born. And the promise was that he was going to manifest his son, and his son was going to die for your sins. And if you're not a part of that, boy, you're going to hell. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much knowledge you think you got. I don't care how many laws you kept. Boy, you're going to hell, boy. Because that means you Ishmael. Ishmael ain't got no inheritance, right or wrong. What he said, right? He said, the son dwell in the house forever. What they did with Ishmael? Put him out. Let's go ahead and look at John chapter 8. We done talked about this John 8 before. Well, that man telling you he was paralleling that to what was going on with Ishmael and Isaac. But see, we don't see that because you just like to take stuff and argue about it versus understanding the premise of what the man was trying to point out and tell you in the difference between those of the flesh and those of the ruach, those of the earth and those of the promise. That's why he said, I'm from above, you from beneath. John 8:31. Let me get that food, little Bible study. I can get some of them noodles, little Bible study. Little Bible study. I don't like the tone of your voice. I think I'm just finna take them noodles, cuz. John 8:31. Then said Yahushua to those Yahudim which believed on him, if you continue in my word, you are my disciples indeed. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So again, right, he said, hold up a banner because of your truth. What is that? The Amath, the Amunah. You know what I'm talking about? The Aman, and they all mean the same thing. Reliability, fidelity, steadfastness. See, you set free because of the steadfastness of this man promise. What are you set free from? Death. See, that's what you want to sit back and look at, because what did we just read last night? About being free. You were prisoners. You know what I'm talking about? What are you prisoners to? Death. I just seen a dude say, they try to say sin and sinning to control you. So if you say sinning, that means that you ain't taking accountability for your actions. I said, that's got to be the dumbest thing I ever heard. And the sad part was it were grown niggas going along with it. That's the sad state of our people. That's why we destroy it. Because you got dumb niggas like that who think they ought to be listened to. You got dumb men like that feel like they supposed to be listened to. If you say somebody sinning, that's not taking a, you're literally pointing out you have overstepped the bound. You have went past the bound that you should not exceed it. See, the problem with a lot of our men in this present day and time is they just like women. They hate discipline, they hate order, they hate structure, and they hate rule of law. They don't want to be held accountable for nothing that they do. They don't want to be confined to any type of organizational movements. They want to be free to float. You know what I'm saying? And it's a disgrace to masculinity all the way around the board. And y'all boys shouldn't be going along with that junk. You should be, I don't care if you've known that nigga for 10 years. Like, bro, what is you talking about? And then these same men be wondering why they have problems with women. Because these same dudes who I see talk like this are always crying about women. You're not a ruler of your own domain. That woman's not going to listen to you, boy. You don't listen to yourself. Let me tell you something, right? And you can put it to you like this here, right? You see how a lot of them chicks be on that goddess stuff and all this other type of stuff? See, they like the simp niggas, right? Who let them do what they want, but they have sex with the dude who ain't on none of that. See, you know what I'm saying? The grand rising queen, goddess, and all that there, he can't get nothing. He can't get a date. You know what I'm saying? He can't get a kiss. He don't even know the pH balance aroma of her genitalia. But it's the broke nigga who say, "What's up, ho? I'll be through there at 6:30. Yes, king. She ready for him. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't got to do none of that. But you know the difference is, he ain't necessarily got to be spiritual or nothing. He got some type of structure or something going on in his life. You kissing her behind, you going to let her do what she want to do. This dude over here ain't going to let her do what she want to do. Now, she'll take all your non-sexual attention and your resources, but she going to have sex with him. And that's when they get on the internet. See, she like Chad and Tyrone. They ain't no Chad and Tyrone, nigga. You just a buster. You know what I'm saying? You're less than a man. And you feel like this woman should still be with you, and you less than a man. And you less than a man in your mind and how you operate. I'm trying to tell you, you got to watch them dudes be talking about grand rising queen. That nigga gay. You don't want to mess with him. I ain't talking about gay like he like men. I'm talking about gay that he lame. Grand rising. Don't want to say morning. You start off sad. You're too smart for your own good. You don't want to say good morning. They don't want to say good morning, but you use all manner of other phrases. That's just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, get on out of here, man. 8:33. And they answered him, "We be Abraham's seed. We've never been in bondage to any man. How you say you shall be made free?" Yahushua answered, "Truly, truly, I say unto you, whosoever commits sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abide not in the house forever, but the son abide forever." What was Hagar? What was Hagar? What was Hagar, Monica? Wrong answer. I don't know what Will said. I don't know what that is. That's not a proper response. You failed. You can leave. But it's not a joke. You can go. Take your baby with you. You get an F. She was a handmaid. That means she was a servant. Servants don't abide in it. Let me tell you something. You know what King Solomon did for his wife? You know what he did for his wife? He built a whole nother house for her to live in. Oh, y'all didn't know that, did you? He built the whole, you know why he built a whole nother house for her to live in? Because I don't want your behind around me every day. Y'all don't even know. I done told y'all that before. That's how they lived in ancient times. Man, living in the same house, in the same room with your wife, that's a new thing. That's a new thing. That's not how the people live. You got to cycle every month. Ain't nobody trying to, you unclean. Get your behind. You got to go somewhere else. You can't stay in here. Y'all be like, but that ain't right. Well, the people in ancient times ain't sleep in the same bed with their wife, especially not no king. What you in here for? You get up out of here. I'll summon you for when I need you. You know what I'm talking about? I got 700 of y'all. Y'all can't stay in here. I got quarters for all of y'all. Stop coming in my room. Straight in my line, though, that man had 700 wives, 300 concubines. And his main wife, he built her house. She didn't live in the king. She didn't live in the castle with him. I'm just saying that now. Now, of course, you know, for us, they had a whole separate house for the women for when she was on her cycle. They found that to be detestable. They were not going to sleep in the same bed with their wife while she was on her mission. Not if they were pious men. They would find that reprehensible because everything you touched in the house would be unclean. So they were, oh, you got to go. When you'd have had that baby for them 40 or them 80 days, you would have not been in the house with your husband. You unclean. You can't come in here. Can't come in here. See, that's just different because y'all not used to that. We are used to you supposed to be up under your husband at all times, sleep in the bed with him. He do this here with him. That's not how people live. That's a new thing. That is a new thing. I'm talking about, I say new thing, 400-500 years old at the maybe the earliest. It's definitely not 1,000 years old. Because I'm talking about in our culture, you're unclean after you have that child. Yeah, you nursing the baby. There's nothing the man can do for the baby. What is he gonna do for it? You know what I'm saying? So he don't need to be here with me. I ain't got no milk and eat titties. I can't do nothing for him. Yeah, you take him over here. See, and I'm only mentioning this here for you to understand the cultural difference of how your ancestors lived. Because remember, I mentioned to y'all some of the elements you need for a culture. You got to have a value system. You got to have a government. You got to have a law. These were things that were part of our law and value system. It wasn't for the disparaging of the woman that she was this, that, there, and the third, but that was uncleanliness. So you can't come in the house because you're going to defile the whole house. So you have to be separate over here. It's not that the man can't come unto you, but he going to be unclean, and then the steps he got to take to be unclean. They didn't want the house to be defiled. You understand what I'm saying? So like, as soon as you hit your cycle, they had another place for you to stay because they didn't want the house to be defiled. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you talk about somebody with a king, somebody who had resources, his wife had a whole nother place to dwell, period, because that is a new thing of a man and a woman being around each other 24 hours a day, quote unquote, by living with one another and cohabiting with one another. That was not something that people did in ancient societies at all. You know what I'm saying? Not on no yeah, they might sleep in the bed for sex, and after that, she went to her own quarters. You know what I'm saying? Men didn't usually like, I'm gonna lay in the bed with my wife. That's a new thing. You know what I'm saying? Man, we talked about that before. And they didn't want the people had them twin beds in the room. They ain't sleeping in the same bed. They ain't sleeping in the same room. And the reason why I meant it, because we'll look at it and think that that's something emotional. You have an emotional reaction when really they ain't had nothing to do with it. It was just customary. That's how those people lived. So they didn't view it how we would view it now. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that is. Sometimes you have to look at scenarios and take your emotions out and just understand that this is how these people live. Muslims definitely still live like that.
My grandma lived like that.
Man, look here, right? Depending on strict orthodoxy, with some brews, some Jewish people, some Christian and Muslims, men and women can't even sit together. The women sit over here, the men sit over there. Ain't no mixing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no mixing. It's separation. You know what I'm talking about? And that's hard for us. How would you do that? You just remember,
Is there a congregation like that?
I mean, any Muslim congregation is like that. Whether Orthodox Islam or Black Islam, the men and women are separated. You see that? If you ever seen the camera pan out there, when you see the camera pan out there, what his name is? I think his name escaping me. No, man. The nigga from Philly, man. What his name is? Bible, cigarette man. Yeah, you look at Geno Jennings Church, man. Them women and men separated. They don't sit together. Because that's how that was. Men and women were always separated. Because women are a distraction. Women are a distraction. They're a distraction for two reasons. This ain't got nothing to do with the negativity of women. Niggas get caught up looking at the women. That's a distraction. Put them over there, you ain't got to worry about looking at them. Two, women talk too much. You don't know how to be quiet. If I keep you over here, I can isolate you. You know what I'm saying? You won't be over here running your mouth. Because the book already tell you, y'all ain't even supposed to be talking. Especially not in no synagogue. Oh, that's a disgrace and a dishonor. Them people cuss you out in there, man. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't supposed to be in there talking. So we already know it. It keep you over here. Keep that banter down. Keep you in line and keep you in order. Because if you had a group of men and a group of women, the women gonna get disorderly before the men. If you ever seen any YouTube panels with men and women on it, you always see that it's the women who be disorderly. You remove the women for the conversation flows freely. These men are able to come to a solution or come to some manner of conclusion in the conversation versus when women are interjected. And that's why they do them separate. Because you're agents of chaos by nature. You're gonna cause some manner of confusion. You know what I'm talking about? Because of emotionality. Your emotions get stirred. I don't like that. And now and all this type of stuff. And that derails everything. Because y'all lead with your emotions. So that's what it is. See, it is a brother told a woman this the other day, and I agree with him. Most women, when they get into conversation, They don't see it that it's a conversation, a learning opportunity. They see it as a debate. You know what I'm saying? So you're automatically coming into it trying to be right versus understanding a perspective or actually learning something. If you put a group of women in conversation with men, that's what's going to happen. Because that woman going to want to be right. And she feel like I got to fight and I got to win. I got to prove my superiority. And you end up looking stupid. And this is why the majority of the time, most men don't like to talk to women. Not over an extended period of time. You know what I'm talking about? And just like BOA mentioned the other day, because I definitely told this nigga this several times, you could tell a nigga who talk to women all the time because they use female talking points. They use female phrases. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no benefit to a man to be talking to no woman for hours and hours on end. What is he getting from that? I can't get nothing from the course of the conversation from you. The reason why y'all want to do it, and most men should understand it, is you want to learn something from him. So it's a benefit for you. That's why you want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Most men who have some type of wisdom, they understand that. But when you don't understand that as a man and get frustrated, I don't want to talk to her. Then you wonder, you don't ever want to talk to me because he just want to talk to you, period. It ain't got nothing to do with you personally. I just don't want to talk to you. Not like this. I just heard women say, who gonna give you a better conversation? Blue collar men or white collar men? Because I want to talk about politics and all this here. Like when it comes down to it, a man don't give a damn about your views on politics. He doesn't care. He's suffering it because he wants to have sex and a nice dinner. But he doesn't really care. I'm just talking about in general. Most men don't care what the majority of what any woman has to say. On any matter, period. If he doesn't have a vested interest in that woman, he doesn't really care. You know what I'm saying? And women don't be liking that. You know what I'm talking about? They really don't. Now, if he got a vested interest, he does care what you have to say. You know what I'm talking about? See, Yahuwah don't care what nobody outside of him has to say. But if you are in his body, that means you his old lady. He has a vested interest in what you have to say. Reason why I say that, because when Abraham said to him, he listened to him. I got a vested interest in what you got to say. Speak on. You know what I'm talking about? When you see men who he fooled with, that he had an interest in and they had something to say, did he listen? Speak on. Exactly. Because he ain't fooled with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no interest in you. I don't care what you got to say. Period. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to what we were talking about last night. What will you? And that woman can't. I got a vested interest in you. So I care what you have to say. I care about what you have to ask for. That's the difference that average women don't understand. If that's your man and he is vested in you, he cares about what you have to say. So he doesn't mind having a conversation with you, but he doesn't want to talk to you every day, hours and hours and hours on end. You know what I'm saying? No man wants to do that. Most men do it because they just don't want to say, I don't care. How about you just go watch whatever it is that you watch or find something to do and leave me the hell alone? You know what I'm saying? Find something to do. Because I don't want to talk to you right now. You'd be like, you rude bastard. How could you say that? But in a different time, men would have said that. We were talking about that this morning. You know how Kevin Samuels like to say the color purple wasn't real? Now, I can tell you this here, right? I know women who've been beat up before. He say he ain't grow up seeing women get beat up. Well, I know several. But I know a woman with a bullet in her titty to this day. You know what I'm talking about? Because the nigga she was fooling with shot her in the back because he didn't want to be with her no more. You know what I'm talking about? Beautiful woman in my apartment, man. Eyeball, way over here, literally. You know what I'm saying? Dude beat the brakes off of her regular. I know several women in my time. I know, God, shoot, boy, I got a couple homeboys done put their hands on the women for a couple matters. You know what I'm talking about?
I ain't never met a nigga like, I don't know, just mad.
Just to be reacting though.
I done always seen a nigga get provoked.
Boy, I done seen niggas get provoked. I done seen some niggas just choke. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, I don't like what you say, hope, pop, pop. Well, I ain't with it. You know what I'm talking about? I done seen it. You know what I'm talking about? I know a couple niggas, man, them niggas get on that alcohol, well, that woman in trouble. She say anything he don't like. Boop, boop, boop. You know what I'm saying? But it's just funny to me because niggas act like that junk don't happen. And then especially back then, nigga, there wasn't no such thing as domestic violence and child abuse. Man, niggas was getting mollywopped. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't talking about just black women either. White women all man, look here, man, that nigga going upside the old lady head. What saith you to me? Wow. You know what I'm talking about? Or them children were getting flogged, nigga. I don't know what these niggas be talking about. You know what I'm saying? It may not be as bad as people like to purport it. But, oh, yeah, boy, I definitely, in the 90s, nigga, boy, I knew a few chicks, boy, they would get beat up. You know what I'm talking about? Especially when you live in apartment complexes, boy, you know what I'm saying? Shoot. Nigga getting beat up. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what you doing? Mind your business. Got nothing to do with me. Keep on walking. I'm 12. You know what I'm saying? You like this here. Dang, man. You seen such and such that? Boy, he beat her last night. Yeah, you live in apartments. You see all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? See, you live in a neighborhood. Miss Sally might be getting beat up, but you don't know. You can't hear that, don't you? You know what I'm saying? She 2-3 houses down. Yeah, you got about 6-7 units by each other. Them walls thin. All you hear, stop, bop, bop, bop. And guess what you do? Keep on playing the video game. Ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. And John 8:33. That's just real, man. No, I just don't agree with that. I don't think a lot of women get beat up like how some women like to put it out there, but I know they get beat up. And I know they always been getting beat up. Because you got dudes who put their hands on women, man. And that ain't, niggas act like that's a new thing in the earth. You know what I'm saying? That's like disingenuous just to say that it don't happen like that. Why you ain't file a police report? Come on, man. This niggas who been hit upside the head with a bottle by the old lady. He ain't calling the police. Everybody don't call the police. That's funny to me that you'll ask a black person why they don't call the police in America. Because I'm black? Like, come on, man. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed. We've never been in bondage to any man. How say you shall be made free? Yahushua answered, truly, truly, I say unto you, whosoever commits sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abide not in the house forever, but the son abide forever. If the son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. See, this again, this is pointing you, only the children of the promise is counted for the seed. Because if you commit sin, you a child of the flesh, which means you Ishmael. And if you Ishmael, ain't no inheritance for you. You know what I mean? What was that for that? Isaiah 42. He ain't even bothering you, cuz the man just standing there. 42:5. I think I'm in 42:6. I, Yahuwah, have called you into righteousness and will hold your hand, and will keep you and give you for a covenant of the people, the light to the Gentiles, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. You see what I'm talking about? Because he say, if you commit sin, you are what? You are servant of sin. But if the Son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. Well, you can only be made free from the flesh by the Ruach, which is by the promise. Which means you got to believe in the Son of the living Elohim. If not, you ain't getting out the prison house. The prison house is the grave. What's up, Eugene? I am Yahuwah. That is my name, and my esteem will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. See, that's what y'all don't understand. That's what Yahuwah ain't going to do. That's what he don't like. Come over here to this Matthew 13, Saran mentioned, man. Let's go ahead and get on around out of that, man. Matthew chapter 13. You can pick it up at verse 11. Muffin man, what's up, boy? Man, them doggone porno people, boy, they be on the prowl. You hear me? They be on that, man. The porno people. They be the porno people. Matthew 13 and 11. I gotta go to the doggone. I knew that was. He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Shamahim, but to them it is not given. For whosoever to him, well, make a fact, let me back that up to 10. Shalom, man, so you can see who he's talking to. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speak you unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it's given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Shamahim, but to them it is not given. That goes to the point that I referenced, that the apostles got the secrets, the people did not. Now, what verse would you use to prove this point? It's only one. No, it ain't in Luke. Yes, in the scriptures. You know, Monica? You don't know because you over there burping babies. Michael? Don't hold your head like you got a headache. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You know? Of course you don't, because I've never shared it with you. That's why you don't know. See, I was setting you up for failure. Civic, you know? What about you, little Johnny? You sitting there looking like a daddy? You got an answer for me? That nigga that's sitting there looking at him, cheering like, look at him. I'm going to whoop them niggas when they come back. I'm going to whoop them decent. They tearing up my house, they don't even know. I got a fresh belt. It's in the back. I greased it too. With leather. Oh, no. Come over here to Book of Amos, chapter 3. I'll pick it up at verse 1. Book of Amos, chapter 3. From that, Romans 15, I believe. Hear this word that you who have spoken against you, O sons of Yasharal, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Mizraim. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Will a lion roar in the forest when he have no prey? Will a young lion cry out of his den if he've taken nothing? Can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth where no gin is formed? Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and Yahuwah have not done it? Surely Yahuwah Elohim will do nothing, but he revealed his secret unto his servants, the prophets. You know what I'm saying? See, the secrets don't get given to the people. You know what I'm saying? And I know we get confused on that because they were like, well, he didn't say this because that wasn't for them. That was for select individuals. They got to get those mysteries. Romans 15. Or Romans 16, my apologies. It's Romans 16. 16 and 25, if you would. Make it 24. You know what I mean? Romans 16, 24. The grace of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach be with you all. Amen. Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach according to the revelation of the mystery which was kept secret since the world began. But now is made manifest by the scripture of the prophets according to the commandments of the everlasting Elohim made known to all nations for the obedience of faith. To the Elohim only wise be esteemed through Yahushua HaMashiach forever. Amen. What did it mean? This secret was kept back from the beginning. That's where that Luke 24 came in at, because he gave that secret to his apostles. He didn't give that to everybody. That's not something that why would he go out? That would make the apostles null and void if he gave them all the information of his death, burial, and resurrection. And he told them that in Luke 24 and 25. He said, was it not written that Mashiach should suffer, and beginning at Moses and all the scriptures, he expounded on the things concerning himself. He never did that with the people. But I can tell you there are several parables where he gave them, where he was referencing his death and resurrection, and the people had no idea what he was talking about. Not even the apostles when they were hearing it. You know what I'm talking about? And let's go back to Matthew 13. That's why they asked him. Remember that Psalm 78 tell you that I will speak in parables. Hey, Lizzie. Hey, Bird. Hi. Matthew 13 and 11, one more again. Or 13 and 10, one more again. You got to think about that, man. Even to this day. What did it say? What that Ecclesiastes 13 say? That the teacher was wise and sought out what? Many proverbs to set him in order. Well, that's not for everybody. So you know why we wanted to be like that? Because you wanted to be some type of utopian state where everybody can do the same thing and have the same roles. That's not how a society functions. That's not how the community functions. That's not how a nation functions. Everybody doesn't have the same abilities. Everybody doesn't have the same job. He tried to tell you that in 1 Corinthians 12. Everybody in the body don't do the same thing. Everybody don't do the same thing. What he said, are all apostles? Are all prophets? Do all speak with tongues? Everybody don't do the same thing. We live now and feel like everybody should do the same thing and know the same things and have the same thing. See, that's what they hit you with. We speak in part. We know in part. That's a cop-out for niggas who don't know nothing. When somebody say something that they don't agree with or they don't know, that's when they hit you with it. We know in part. We prophecy in part. That ain't what that man talking about. That man talking about you got some people who prophesy this information. You got some people who know this information. Don't try to use that as your cop-out for your lack of information. You know what I'm saying? That's not how that works. Everybody don't have the same job. That's how dudes be talking about kingdom character, kingdom mentality. You don't even know how a kingdom works. Kingdom literally means a place of rulership. So you're dealing with a place of rulership. There's a way that things function and go. Nevertheless. 13 and 10, Matthew. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speak you unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it's given to you to know the mysteries of the Malkuth for Shamahim, but to them it is not given. For whosoever have, to him shall be given, and whosoever have more abundance, but whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away, even that he have. Therefore I speak to them in parables. And this is why the people weren't supposed to get it, because they seeing, see not, hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. So it would have been a waste of his time. See, the difference between you and Yahuwah is Yahuwah is not going to waste his time. When he already know you ain't going to listen, that man ain't finna give you something you can't appreciate. He'll give it to somebody else. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which say, by hearing you shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see and not perceive. For this people heart is wax gross, their ears are dull of hearing, their eyes have they closed. Let's say anytime they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and we should convert it, and I should heal them. He's telling you the people don't believe. So why would he give them that information? But Baruch to your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For truly I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see and have not seen, and to hear those things which you hear and have not heard. You know what I'm saying? This man say, hey, your eyes can see, your ears can hear, but everybody else, that's the thing we don't really get. That's a blessing. That man give you eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to understand. That's not an everyday thing. That's why he tell you all Yasharal is not all Yasharal, because everybody is not of the promise. Everybody is not of the promise. Let's return back to the book of Jeremiah. Chapter 48 it was. I know we don't like to hear it, but it need to be told. Eugene, sit down, son. We're in verse 7, Jeremiah 48. For because you have trusted in your works and in your treasure, you shall be taken. Kemah shall go forth into captivity with his priests and his princes together. So who going into captivity with his priests? Now let's take a look at it and let's make it, because we talk about Beelzebub, right? Lord of the flies. Come on, man, I'll line it up for you. Come on here to Isaiah 24. We give you something a little extra for it. Let it make. He says his priests and his princes, right? Okay, Isaiah 24. 24 and 21. Remember what does captivity mean in Hebrew? Exile, separation. And it shall come to pass in that day, Yahuwah shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth that are upon the earth. Johnny, who the hosts of the high ones on high? That's unfortunate. Callie, who's the host of the high ones on high? Who's the host of the high ones on high? That's what you get. If you wouldn't have been sitting still, you wouldn't have had that problem. Now look at you. Your forehead hurt. Who's the host of the high ones on high? What? No. Do you know, Shayla? That's unfortunate. What about you, Tavon? Oh, none of y'all don't know? No, absolutely not. We in the book that we in and the book that's in. You know what I'm talking about? Little Muffin, do you know? Huh? And you would be right. But not good ones. Angels. Satan's angels, to be specific. Oh, would you like to see? Pause. Oh, what you got to say? What? I can't hear you. You said something. Speak your speech, nigga. Oh, you were. Yes, I've went over this numerous occasions, several times. That's why you niggas failed at school. Because y'all was smoking weed in the bathroom. You don't do drugs. You don't do drugs. I'm talking to you, you say you don't do drugs. What you was smoking? I ain't say no crack. I'm talking about the strand. What you was smoking? You was smoking neighborhood weed? We had a nigga walk up on us at your job site talking about, smell this nigga, I got these runts. That nigga pulled out of I got some runts, nigga. I went to Atlanta to get this here. My homeboy said, there ain't no runts, nigga. He said, we supposed to smell that before you even open it up. He said, it's some gas, though. I said, nigga, I told that nigga, shoot, nigga, I don't know. I don't smoke weed, cuz. You keep that junk over there. Revelation 12. I don't know what a nigga, you know, niggas keep their junk on them now. Slide off, get in the car when they break. When they break for a bit, light in. But I'm going to tell you something real, boy, because I done cleaned up many a construction site. The Mexicans, nigga, the Mexicans be there getting drunk. You understand me? Telling you, man, beer bottles galore. We go there like they say, yeah, we need to clean the site up, man. There be beer bottles everywhere. Bro, them niggas be 7 in the morning. They be getting them, taking them to the job site. Getting bent. Nothing but beer. Ain't no cap, man. Nothing but beer. Revelation 12 and 1 is fine. He ain't lying. Not strong beer either. Them niggas be straight Miller. Budweiser. Got to be light for the night. Punk bastard. And there appeared a great wonder in Shamahin. This is Revelation 12 and 1. With the moon and the moon under her feet, and upon her head, or a woman clothed with the sun, moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being left with child, cried, travailing in birth, pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in Shamahin. Behold, a great red dragon, or serpent, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew a third part of the stars of Shamahin, and did cast them to the earth. And the serpent stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Drop down to verse 7. And there was war in Shamahin, and Mikael and his Malachim fought against the serpent, and the serpent fought, and his Malachim, and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in Shamahin. And that great serpent was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Hashatan, which deceived the whole world. And he was cast out into the earth, and his Malachim were cast out with him. Back to Isaiah 24. So now you can see, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high. Now we just referencing that you can see they could get cast down to see that what is he punishing them for. This is because remember, when you see host of high ones, that host, that army, that's supposed to already let you know this is in heaven and not on earth. See, the kings of the earth is different. The kings of the earth are the kings who gave their power to the beast. Just don't put him on the floor because he don't want to follow directions. Listen what he said. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners or gathered into the pit, and they shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days they shall be visited. Well, what does this mean? Well, let's take a look in Revelation chapter 20. Matter of fact, hold on before we go to Revelation 20. Hold on. There's something that came to my mind. Come over here to 2 Peter chapter 2, and then the Epistle of Jude, because those texts came to my mind. Let me do that right now. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4. But if Elohim spare not the Malachim that sin but cast them down to hell to be delivered into the hands of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment. So you see this here, right? Bringing them hosts of them high ones from on high, got them captive or separated. Because remember, that's where we coming from. Chemosh, all his priests, all his princes being exiled or separated. Let's come over here to the Epistle of Jude, chapter 1.
So the angels that sin, that's pretty much the angels that
Them the ones who roll with the devil for whatever reason. That's the root of it, but they roll with the devil. So they getting what he getting. Yeah, that's what it said. We're about to read it again. The Epistle of Jude. I pick it up at verse 1. Jude, the servant of Yahushua HaMashiach and the brother of James, to them that are sanctified by Elohim Abba and preserved in Yahushua HaMashiach, called. Mercy unto you, shalom, and love be multiplied. Beloved, when I give all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you, and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. See, that information that we were talking about, that the mysteries that only the apostles got, they delivered that to the faithful. This is why he didn't give that information to the people, because they had to give it to the faithful. Different type of deal. But also, you should already know that, because guess what? Did he give the law to everybody? No, he gave it to Moses, and Moses gave it to the people, and then eventually the Levites gave it to the people.
That's it.
Oh yeah, verse 4. For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the mercy of our Elohim into lasciviousness and denying Yahuwah Elohim and our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. See, what you have with that, what he meaning is you got men who creep in, who are already set to go to hell. Y'all know what lasciviousness is. I know you heard of lewd and lascivious conduct. You heard of that, son? You know about that? I know a few niggas went to jail for it. Lasciviousness means lust. You know what I'm saying? Unbridled lust. I'd have to look it up in Greek to see what it means in Greek. But yeah, lewd and lascivious conduct means you had lewd and lustful conduct with the child. Usually when you get charged with it. You can't get charged with it with an adult. You know what I'm saying? No, that would be indecent exposure. That one would be indecent exposure. Lewd and lascivious conduct, you actually have to do that to another person. Also, it also depends on the state and the definition of the crime. The Greek word is esogia, unbridled lust, excess, wantonness, outrageousness, shamelessness, insolence, filthy, just unbridled lust. You know what I'm saying? And you have a lot of people who if you pay attention, have taken the word of Elohim and turned it into something that just is for individuals to just partake in unbridled lustful conduct. And why is that important? Because who did they get in trouble with in the book of Numbers for fooling with? What God did they get in trouble with in the book of Numbers? By name. Baal Peor. And you know Baal Peor ain't too far away from Mr. Ekron, Mr. Chemosh, Mr. Beelzebub. And guess what Beelzebub and Baal Peor got in common? You got to do some freaky stuff to honor them. Freaky stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. I mean, the advent, like, it's different. Now, that TV show you be looking at, they be going too far. The advent of seeking to pleasure women come from these people who worship other gods because they worship the female principle. This is why a lot of the men went about saying, okay, we have to please women. Because you were pleasing Ashtaroth or you were pleasing Diana or whatever the hell you wanted to call this funky hoe at that particular time. You know what I'm talking about? And you looked at most brews now in that time, of course, you can't go into detail, but it wasn't necessarily that these men didn't want pleasure, but, you know, they went about it on, this is your job, this is your duty, and we're seeking to procreate. And if we can derive pleasure out of it, great. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that wasn't the main. Because, see, now it's different. See, now men seek to validate. See, we got it backwards. See, a woman is validated by a man no matter what she says out of her mouth. See, a woman can have as many accomplishments, as many of the things that she can ever have, but she will never be validated if no man looked at her and said, I'll take care of you. You know what I'm saying? See, the verse now is men seek to be validated by women. She say I look good. She say I dress nice. She say I dropped that pipe game on, and all of these things. You got it backwards. You know what I'm saying? It's backwards now. Because see, a man is invalidated if he takes a woman on to be a wife. That doesn't validate him and say, see, I'm a man now. I'm a husband. You've never heard a man say that. You know what I'm saying? Women are validated because it shows forth that they have some. That's why some women will get happy. Oh, I got a proposal. That means I'm good enough to be a wife, and then call it off. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I've been validated. But I told you before, just because somebody will marry you or propose to you, don't mean you're a wife. That doesn't make you a wife. See, this is the deal that don't nobody want to tell you. You're a wife before somebody marries you. You're a wife before you get proposed to. Just because somebody put you in that position does not mean that you are. See, a man is supposed to prepare himself to be a husband. See, you can be taught to be a husband, but then you have to go part of developing the wisdom and understanding and resources to be a husband. Because a husband is what a husband meant. I mean, you're a caretaker of things. You cultivate crops and things of that nature that they produce and bring forth fruit. So you have to develop yourself to do that. But a woman has to become a wife. See, most people point the fact that Sean say he had somebody a homo at his job have the nerve to say that being a sis is not a sin. And hey, that's in his mind, that may be true. But in Yahuwah's mind, is it? I think not. You know what I'm talking about? But the point we're getting to is this here, right? You can hear men say, I'm learning how to do this on the fly and get ridiculed, but a women will get a pass on, I don't know how to be a wife and I'm learning how to do it. And nobody's going to ridicule you. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, really, you learning how to be a wife is just as detrimental as him learning how to be a husband. Don't neither one of you know what the hell you're doing. You know what I'm talking about? So that means that can be damaging to everyone involved. But see, she's going to get a pass because her burden of responsibility isn't as great as his. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, you're not going to hear a man complain about my woman don't know how to be a wife. He just going to deal with it. Now, if you don't know how to be a husband, her friends, your family, her family, and 3 niggas down the street going to know about it. You know what I'm talking about? And then you wonder why dudes don't trust no woman because you done put me out there on the street. You done told everybody I don't know how to do this and don't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Now, guess what? I don't care what you do. That's a showfire. See, that's one thing that women don't realize either. If you divulge certain information, that man ain't gonna trust you no more. You know what I'm saying? He don't trust you no more because you don't know how to. You know the old saying, what goes on this house, stick. Whatever go on between me and you, that should remain between me and you. Unless we seek outside conversation together. Because that's just how men operate. Oh, I can't trust you with what we got going on. So I can't trust you with government secrets. You're sharing stuff with the Chinese. You've committed treason. You know what happens when you commit treason? Yeah, what happened to Judas? Because Judas committed treason. You know what I'm saying? You divulge state secrets. You're not to be trusted. You know what I'm talking about? But that's a whole nother deal. See, most people don't like to hear that. But of course, you know, women are logical. They just like to vent and they like to talk. You know what I'm saying? Man, it'd be like this here, man. What's up with your wife? Shoot. Sit in the car for about an hour, then I'll go in the house. Once he say that, niggas already know. I understand your pain, brother. You need a drink? You smoke? I got some cools. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Niggas already know. Ain't even got to be no in-depth conversation. If a nigga be like, hey, man, you finna go home? No, I'm going to ride around for a couple hours. I'm going to send you $20, man. You know what I'm saying? Go and get you a drink. He already know what time it is. It's unspoken. Niggas know. Niggas already know. He going through something. His wife's a real ball breaker. He's not going home. You know, that's tough when you got a nigga. But I done heard dudes say, boy, they sit in the driveway for an hour before they even go in the house. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, if you get to that point, just leave, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? But there's a difference. Women don't care about being seen as a failure, and men do. Because when you get divorced, you're a failure. It's not cutting corners with that. You have failed. The objective is to stay married, not be married for a little while. A woman don't care. I've been married 4 times. She don't care. She's a 4-time failure. A man don't want to be seen as no failure. That means let me do what I'll be miserable than to fail. That's why men die early. I ain't saying that's what you should do. I'm just telling you that's what happened. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, we finished. I ain't finishing the Epistle of Jude. I just changed to something else. Epistle of Jude, verse 5. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Mizraim, afterward destroyed them that what? Believe not. And the Malachim, which kept not their first estate. See, you see how that takes us back to Isaiah 24? Isaiah 24 is your only scriptural reference for them getting kicked out. And the Malachim, which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he had reserved in everlasting chains under darkness until the judgment of the great day. Now let's look at the judgment of the great day. Revelation chapter 20. Or do I need 19? Gene. Revelation chapter 20, verse 1. Gene. Revelation 20 and 1. And I saw a Malachim. Well, let me back it up a bit. Get to Revelation 19 and 20. Let me get his priests and his princes. We'll make it 19 with it. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken with the false prophet that worked miracles before him, which deceived them that received the mark of the beast, that worship his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which proceed out of his mouth, and the fowls of the air were filled with his flesh. And I saw Malachim come down from Shamahim, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on that serpent, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Now, come on back to Jeremiah. Do you see how those things relate on Chemosh going into captivity with his princes and his priests together? They all get exiled. Jeremiah chapter 48, verse 8. He said, and the spoiler shall come upon every city. No city shall escape. The valley also shall perish. The plain shall be destroyed, as Yahuwah hath spoken. You know that's dealing with the Lord, right? He coming through. He killing everybody. Remember, this is judgment rendered against these nations, if you don't recall. Give wings unto Moab, that it may flee and get away. For the cities thereof shall be desolate, without any to dwell therein. Cursed be he that do the work of Yahuwah deceitfully. Cursed be he that keep back his sword from blood. Y'all familiar with this passage? It's been a long time since I done put it out there on the street. I want y'all to understand that for here with deceitfully, it is remiyah, laxness, slackness, slackening, deceit, treachery. So you're dealing with somebody who's lazy and lying. And that man say, cursed be you if you handle the word of what? Do the work of Yahuwah deceitfully. Don't you know it's a lot of people who cursed out here, man? Of course, you know that's Melakah, which is occupation of business. I didn't want y'all to pause and think about that for a moment. It's a lot of dudes who cursed out here, man. What you think that curse is? We just read it earlier. He said he's the same men who crept in unawares, who got the what? Condemnation from old. What about what we read in 2 Corinthians 13? Y'all remember what we read in 2 Corinthians 13? Was it 2 Corinthians 12? But they be deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Mashiach. He said, but their damnation slumber not, and it don't linger. You got to think about that, man. There's a lot of dudes out here cursed, boy, because they've been dealing with this man word deceitfully. And they keeping their sword back from blood. But that's another conversation. Verse 10. Was it 11?
Oh, to that goes with Ezekiel 18. They didn't warn them. That the sword is coming.
No, that's different. That's different. When you keeping your sword back from blood, it's a twofold thing. You either ain't hewing them to pieces with the sword, which is the word of Yahuwah, or you literally kept back your sword from chopping somebody to death. You know what I'm talking about? Remember that Hosea 6:6. I hewed them to pieces with the words of the prophet. Because the word of Elohim is sharper than a two-edged sword, dividing asunder to the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Come on, Joe. Come on, JoJo. JoJo. That boy hit me up the other day, too. Doggone JoJo. Yeah, that boy said he want to get off that boat. I guess he like this here. Didn't go how he thought it was going to go. That's something right there where you got to be committed and ride on out. Because you finna be here for a while. Get you a box of Snickers. Well, shoot, I think he had a sweetie. He wasn't gone 6-7 months at a time.
Yeah, he was working local.
Mm.
He probably was the wrong company. You get the wrong company.
Yeah. Verse 12. Was it 11? Because my phone, my screen protector cracked. I need to get a new one. Moab had been at ease from his youth. He has settled on his lees. He have not been empty from vessel to vessel. Neither have he gone into captivity. Therefore, his taste remained in him, and his scent is not changed. What y'all think that could mean? I'll share with you some of the things that it. Now, when it be at ease, to be at ease, to be at peace, to rest securely, to be quiet. Sha'an said Moab has been at ease from his youth. He's never been into captivity. Therefore, he says his taste has remained and his scent is not changed. It's okay if you ain't got no idea. You got an idea, Daedra? The verse, what does it mean? Moab been at ease from his youth, settled on his lees. He's not been empty from vessel to vessel. Neither has he gone into captivity. Therefore, his taste remains in him, and his scent is not changed. Say what? No, I'm just messing. Are y'all aware that Moab never went into captivity? You know what captivity is? That's exile. Moab never got kicked out of his land. You say he's been at ease. He's been resting quietly from his youth, meaning he had no problems. You don't read about no whole bunch of wars in this text with Moab. Nobody coming through there dusting Moab up, taking Moab out. You know what I'm saying? We had a little thing over because we just read it in 1 Kings that said they rebelled, but they were still in their land, resting quietly. They didn't have the issues that the people around them had. So you know what ends up happening? You get strengthened in your folly. That's why I say his taste remained in him. He still got the same words and the same scent, giving off the same sacrifice. Because that word for scent is, odor of soothing or sacrifice to Elohim. Verse 12. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will send unto him wanderers, and they shall cause him to wander, and shall empty his vessels and break their bottles. Moab shall be ashamed of Chemosh, as the house of Yasharal was ashamed of Bethel, their confidence. What is Bethel, Michael? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. A town ain't going to cut it for that one, baby. Tavon, help out and tell her what Bethel is. He said it'd be a help for him. Civic, go and help him out and tell him what Bethel is. Indeed. What'd you say? That ain't gonna work. A place ain't gonna cut it. Yes, the house of bread. The city wasn't their confidence. The house of Elohim was there. House of bread. Huh? Get on out. Come over here to Isaiah 15 that brother Judah put up here, man. Get out, bro.
Church downtown.
Because when the trap open, I can kick you out and you got to go. Go on the balcony. Go on down there with Mr. McKissick. You going on down there with him. Because they like to fleece you. And then they like to touch you. That's what they say. I don't know. And you heard it too. Look at you. Mm-hmm, I heard it too. How you heard it? Woo! I don't want to know no more. Oh, that's Shiloh, my bad.
I know girl, she got a check from Shiloh.
She got a check. Who touched her? Yeah, I was locked up with that nigga. That nigga got less time for me. I was selling dope. That nigga pulled the guy. He touched somebody. I went to prison. That nigga supposed to went to jail. But they gave that nigga probation. That nigga serving all right. Punk bastard. Ain't like that nigga anyway. Isaiah 15:1. The burden of Moab, because in the night of Ar, Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. Because in the night of Ker, Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. He is gone up to Bajith and the Dibon, the high places to weep. Moab shall howl over Nebo, over Medeba, and on all their heads shall be baldness and every beard cut off. Let's go ahead and look at some of these names. I wasn't going to hit it, but shoot, bro, put it out there, so we might as well. Now, of course, when you got Bayith, you got Bat, so this is a house. It's a place in their land. They're going to go up to the house, up there to Dibon. And, of course, Dibon is wasting. That's another town in Moab. But that baby snoring like that? Good Lord. That nigga snoring like a grown man. What? And of course, Medeba is water of rest. These are all towns now. And he said, you know what that means when there's going to be baldness, right? Somebody got to die. That's mourning. That's mourning. He said, in their streets they shall gird themselves with sackcloth, and on the top of their houses and in the end of their streets everyone shall howl, weeping abundantly. Heshbon shall cry, Elah, and their voice shall be heard even under Yahaz. Therefore the armed soldiers of Moab shall cry out, his life shall be grievous unto him. My heart shall cry out for Moab. His fugitives shall flee unto Zohar, a heifer of 3 years old. For by the morning of Lahuth and with weeping shall they go it up. For in the way of Horonam they shall rise up a cry of destruction. For the waters of Nimrim shall be desolate. The hay is withered away. The grass fell. There's no green thing. Therefore the abundance they have got and that which they laid up shall be carried away to the brook of willows. For the cry has gone round about the borders of Moab, the howling thereof, and the Egalim, and the howling thereof, and Taberlim, and the waters of Dimon shall be full of blood. For I will bring upon Dimon lions upon him that escape of Moab, and upon the remnant of the land. Remember what he said in another place in Jeremiah, the lion is raised up out of his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. You know what I'm talking about? And then when you're looking at making their waters full of blood, it's just like what he did in Egypt, except he ain't turning waters into blood. He's spilling blood. Let's slide over here to Isaiah 16, because it's a little Moab conversation here. That's what I was going to go to, but then I was like, nah, but screw it. Because Isaiah does have a lot of prophecies in regards to the destruction of these very same people who we talking about. Well, we was just zeroing in on Jeremiah. I must destroy you now, Batman. Oh, you're not a superhero, but you got on a superhero shirt. I understood nothing you said.
I have Batman night clothes.
Oh, you got Batman night clothes. You wear them in your bed chamber? Isaiah 16. Send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land from Selah to the wilderness unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. For it shall be that as a wandering bird cast out of the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon. Take counsel, execute judgment, make your shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcast, berate not him that wander. Do y'all know what this means and what this refers to? We ain't talked about it in a while. Stanley said he remembered. Anybody else remember? It is. It is about going into the wilderness. And it's about the lamb leading you into the wilderness, if you would. Little links up to Revelation 2. Now I get the ginger. I can smell the ginger in the air. And the orange. Definitely smells better in the air. You got some junk that smell different on skin, but smell better in the air. Let's look at verse 4. Let my outcast dwell with you, Moab. Be you a covert to them from the face of the spoiler. The extortioner is at hand. The spoilers cease, and the oppressors are consumed out of the land. And in mercy shall the throne be established. He shall sit upon it in truth. In the tabernacle of David, judging, seeking judgment, and hasting righteousness. We're going to be brief with this and move on. You know why this is important? Because you know the part where it mentioned the wilderness in Revelation 12? It lets you know that the wilderness is in Moab, and Moab is adjacent to the land. So those who were hid for that 3.5-year period, they will be adjacent to the land. It's not like they're going to be ducked off somewhere extremely far away. Because what will be going on in the land, you already know. Extreme oppression and persecution. Remember, he will go to make war with the remnant of her seed. Those who don't get ducked off getting killed. But, we're not going to spend too time with that because, the wilderness is the Hebrew rapture. We're going to the wilderness, we're going to be good. No, some going. And everybody else, hey, man, you're going to have to give esteem to Yahuwah, whether by preaching or whether by your death or whether by your incarceration. But one way or another, he going to be esteemed. Did we not read that in Daniel when they say some shall fall by captivity, some by the sword, some by the flame? And those who turn to righteousness shall shine like stars in heaven. That's what it say, man. I just seen somebody else today. Y'all ready for this junk to crash? Man, come on, man. These people ain't gonna do nothing but crash it, take the wealth, redistribute it, and then you're gonna keep on doing what you've been doing. Nowhere in the history of mankind have people been living like savages in mass. Y'all do know that, right? You know, the brew want to make it seem like it's just going to be all letter chaos. It's going to be starving to death in the streets. Nowhere in the history of mankind has there been any mass savagery in the earth. Never in the history of mankind. Ever. Not once. Recorded, I should say. Was there any savagery during the time of Mesopotamia recorded? What about during the Sumner civilization? What about early Babylon? What about late Babylon? Where have you just seen where people were just starving, living like savages? We got to live off the earth. You ain't got no survival skills. Well, stupid nigga, y'all niggas ain't gonna have to survive. You still going to work. Again, the key point of how we know this is what? What did it say about Babylon? That the men of the earth did what? Waxed rich with her. Yes. These people still gonna have food. They may not sell food that'll be good for you, but they still gonna have it. I seen that the other day. If you buy Beyond Chicken from KFC, nigga, go and get a gun and kill yourself. Because you got to be the dumbest of the dumb to go buy some Beyond Chicken from KFC. Now, sometimes you just got to use your brain. I'm not eating this. Vegan chicken.
Yeah, they got a vegan burger at Burger King.
They got a Beyond Whopper.
Yeah, that's it. It's supposed to be vegan.
It's made by... Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. But it's coming from the people beyond meats who sell that junk in the grocery store. You can buy stock in them. But what I'm saying is, hold on, Paul. Just come to this book of Revelation, man. Now look at you, Joe. Now look at you. Now you're in pain. Because you don't listen. And you ain't in pain because of the pop. You in pain because of your pride. Revelation 18:3. We did read it the other day. I'll read it again. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So you mean to tell me how they waxing rich? Oh, see, that's now, brother. No, it's saying here these people going to get money with Babylon till Babylon is destroyed. Because they ain't crying for Babylon because they care she gone. They money gone. Well, let's look at it some more and let's see. Revelation 18. You can pick it up at verse 10. Well, shoot, we could make it 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment. Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is your judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones of pearls, fine linen, purple, silk, scarlet, all your tine wood, all manner of vessels of ivory, all manner of vessels of most precious wood, brass, iron, and marble, cinnamon, odors, ointments, frankincense, wine, oil, fine flour, wheat, beasts, sheep, horses, chariots, slaves, and souls of men. So guess what that means? Niggas getting sold in slavery. And the fruits that your soul lusted after are departed from you. All the things which were dainty and goodly are departed from you, and you shall find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, purple, scarlet, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to nothing. Every shipmaster, all the company in ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast their dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, you Shamahim and you Kadash apostles and prophets, for Elohim have avenged you on her. These people still getting money, man. You know this city, these people standing out there weeping. Boy, these people, it ain't crashed like you thought it was going to crash. You know who the crash is going to be difficult for? It's going to be difficult for the people at the bottom. It's going to be difficult for people at the bottom and people in the middle. People who are upper or rich, it'll hit them, but it'll really drop them down to where the people who are in the middle at. The people who are at the bottom, they already scarred. The people in the middle, they're going to be with the people at the bottom. And then guess what the people who at the top going to do? Offer them something to sustain control over them so you continue to get my money. See, niggas want you to believe that people just going to be running around here living like savages. If you don't know how to grow your own food, you're going to starve to death. Not knowing it's Yahuwah who control the ground, you jackass. So this man can make your crops not grow. Now what? Ain't he did that before? Did he tell y'all send cankerworms to eat all your crops? Or you going to rely on Yahuwah one way or another? You ain't got to like it, but you going to do it. That's what Hebrew don't understand. You can know how to plant all the food in the world you want to plant, and he can shut up heaven. And now what you going to do? Now what you going to do? You're going to have to look to heaven and say, please, Yahuwah, send rain. What they did during the time of Elijah. Ain't wasn't no rain, wasn't no food. But again, why is this important? There's nothing wrong with you wanting to learn all of these things. Don't get it twisted. But at the end of the day, well, you of Yahuwah, you ain't going to go without nothing. That ain't nothing but scared hoe nigga talk. You see a nigga talking all that scared talking, he say he serve Yahuwah, you calmly walk away from that punk nigga. But that nigga scared. Because we already know, we say it all the time, that man done told you, I've seen many things in his life, but it's one thing I ain't seen. And that's the righteous forsaken and begging for bread. And if you righteous, then you ain't got to be concerned about nothing. Because guess what? Jacob wasn't worried about nothing during that time of famine. Yahuwah made sure that them boys ate by whatever means possible. He made it to make sure that they were going to eat. I know I'm going to bring a famine. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send Joseph down there so he can rise up to a proper position so that those that are mine can be fed. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's another part we don't talk about Joseph going down there. That's the mercy of Elohim to make sure the righteous are not forsaken and they got bread. Because besides the fact of the multitude of other things that are contained in the story of Joseph going down there that you could be pulled from it, the biggest one out of all of them, besides, him resurrecting from the dead and sitting on the throne, is that man made sure that the righteous weren't forsaken and begging for bread. Jacob ain't had to beg for nothing. That man made sure Jacob and his whole house was taken care of completely. I'm talking about before Goshen. Jacob was in Canaan when there was a famine, and Egypt was the only place that had food, and that's why Joseph was there, because he had to sustain it. Because what ended up happening with Jacob and all his house, they ended up going down there to Egypt to be sustained. Because this man made a move to make sure that those that belonged to him would be sustained. When there was a famine during the time of Abraham, guess what he told him? Slide down there, man. There's a famine down there. I got some food for you, ducked off over here. Don't even worry about it. That's hope niggas when they go to talking to you like that. Well, Yahuwah is a keeper of his word. He said he showed mercy to thousands of them that keep his covenant and keep his commandments. If you in covenant with this man, that man would be not the man that he said he was if he allowed you to starve. Now, he might let somebody kill you for his name's sake. He might let you go to jail, but he ain't gonna let you starve. That's what he ain't gonna do. At that point, he ain't no reputable husband. That man told you in his own covenant, he got to give you food, clothing, and duty of marriage. That man gonna do what he said he gonna do. You ain't got to be concerned with that. That's why I keep telling y'all, you got to let the banner be known. These dudes don't believe in this man like that. And I ain't telling you ain't got to store no food. I ain't telling you ain't got to have no weapon. I ain't telling you not to do none of that. But if you think if you do that, you gonna be straight, I'll look you dead in your face and say you don't believe in Yahuwah. I'll tell you that dead to your face. Because, nigga, I wouldn't have to have not nan. How much food Elijah had stored? Oh, true story. How much food Elijah had stored? And guess where he sent him at? To Tyre and Zidon to sustain him. Did he not? Okay. That's just where he sent him at. Guess what? Everybody in Yasharal were hungry and looking stupid. And guess what? They supposed to be because they were around there worshiping false idols. You ought to die and starve, nigga. But let me tell you something. You're going to see a difference, right? Let's say there's a famine in America. You're going to see who serve Yahuwah and who don't. I don't care nothing about all that time. We got food stored. You're going to see some proof. Man, we ain't got nothing. You brothers need to help us out. Nah, you the foolish virgin. You don't remember? Go to them that sell. You know what I'm talking about? You're going to see the difference. Because you're going to see a group of brews complaining, and you're going to see a group of brews chilling, and the brews that chilling, the niggas who complaining feel like you ought to break bread with them. But shoot, nigga, if you was righteous like you said you was, why isn't Yahuwah providing for you? I got my daily bread. It might not be as much food as I used to eat. It might not even be what I used to eat. It might not even be what I like to eat. But I got my daily bread. Because ain't that what that man told you to pray for? Give us this day our what? So as long as you ate today, nigga, you all right. Because you're supposed to esteem this man word over your necessary food. But these boys don't. And get what? When it get real, don't call me talking about shoot me some food. Die, you wicked bastard. That's what you ought to do. You die. Because if you was righteous, that man will feed you. See, brother, you the conduit to help. Nah, don't try to run that game on me, nigga. Then we turn around and look up and you got a gang of thieves trying to plunder us for some food. Because you ain't did right before Yahuwah. Nah, man. We ain't going for that Issachar. That's right. King said we ain't going for that. Tell him again. Say we ain't going for that. We ain't going for that. Back to Isaiah 16. I know it sounds harsh, but at the end of the day, I remember when I first got in the word, man, Fat Boy showed me a video. Told me, you think Yahuwah gonna feed you like he fed Elijah with some ravens? And when I heard him say, I said, boy, that boy don't believe in the Lord. I think we was in I was like 3-4 months out at that point. I said, yeah, that boy don't believe. He don't believe in the Lord. Because he trying to tell you that Yahuwah ain't gonna do for you what he did for Elijah. And what make Elijah better than anybody else? Nothing. That's it. That's the only thing made him better. But if your righteousness is the same as Elijah's righteousness, y'all equal as far as the Lord is concerned. Oh, I guess because he got a memorial written in the text, he was some of greater esteem than you. Nah, he trusted this man with his whole life. See, that go back to the point where I was telling you. Man, a woman who knows she can trust her husband with her life, you know that man ain't going to let her starve. Remember, I used to tell y'all this all the time. Remember, he say he know what you need of before you ask for it. So get what? You know your children need to eat because you feed them. They ain't got to tell. They can come tell you I want a snack. I tell you I want something to eat. But for the most part, you can gauge. I know this nigga gonna be hungry in a minute. Now, whether I get up and prep it for him before he asks, that's a different deal. You know what I'm saying? But I know he finna come ask me for something to eat because I know he ain't ate since 7 this morning because I gave him breakfast. You know what I'm saying? So you already know that. That child ain't got to come tell you, Daddy, I need new shoes and clothes. I already know you need new shoes and clothes because I buy them. You know what I'm talking about? So I already know this. You don't have to come tell me this. So you don't have to come tell you who I sure need some food today. He already know you need some food. See, our problem is we entitled and ungrateful. You don't like what he supplied because you feel like you deserve X, Y, Z. And that's when you get nothing. And then you can see what you deserve. You know what I'm talking about? That's what people's problem is. You don't deserve nothing. You know what I'm talking about? You deserve death. But instead, he said, you know what? But again, it's the point of he in covenant with. Everybody know the parable when he talking to him in Matthew. What he said, right? Take no thought for your life. And this is something just on the natural side that most men don't understand. When they take on a wife, that woman doesn't want to take any thought for her life. She would rather you do that for her. I don't want to worry about how to buy some food. I don't want to worry about paying some bills. I don't want to worry about any of that. And men in this day and time, that offends them. So I got to take care of a big grown child. If you got a vagina, cuz just say that. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't no man. You want the honor, the adulation, and the submission of a man without being a man. That's not how that works. You know what I'm talking about? Because guess what? Throughout the history of mankind, men have taken care of their wives. That's just what it is. Now, if you don't require to get any value back from that woman as a helpmeet, that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? That's your fault. If you just let her sit up in the house and do nothing, that's your fault. But if you're going to be a husband, that's a part of it. And then when you hear niggas cry about that, because at the end of the day, you're taking on a wife for what purpose? What is the number one reason why a man taking a wife? Children, legacy, replication of his DNA. You know what I'm talking about? So in part that she is going to replicate your DNA, to care for her is a part of that package. So when you hear dudes saying they don't want no wife, and I don't care if they go legally married or not, I'm not getting into that argument. That's your personal business. That means you tell a nigga say he don't want no child. That means you don't want no legacy. That tell me you's a sorry excuse of a man. That means you a man who seeks not to accomplish anything in life. Because you don't even want to replicate yourself to actually leave something behind to him and leave an essence of you that you can continue your family lineage and name.
No.
And that ain't cool. And a lot of brews they don't want to have them conversations, man. You got to be a man. You know what I'm talking about? See, the problem with a lot of brews is they wicked men, so they don't vet women properly. They're not vetting this woman from a godly standard. They're not taking her through the ringer to make sure that godliness is a part of what she wants to do in order to get the benefits of his provision. You niggas horny, and you get the detriment of being horny. You get the problems that come along with that. Because you thought with your penis. As a man, you should never think with your penis. As a man, you should never be ruled by your lust. You should never be moving off of sexual gratification. If sexual gratification is in your top 10 things to do, you are still thinking like a boy. Sex should not be in your top 10 of things to do as a man, especially once you get to 30. You know what I'm saying? I can see it in your early 20s. Once you get to 30, you shouldn't be motivated by sex. You motivated by sex. You're not fit to rule anything. Kings don't rule based off of, I can get some sex now. I'm the king. I already know I can get sex. I'm the king. You know what I'm saying? Once you build yourself to a certain point, then you like this here, chase a woman, concerned with a woman. They know what it is as soon as I come through here. I ain't got to do that. See, most of us don't know. Like, we crack them jokes about it. Niggas say what they want to say. Niggas already know if Drake walk in the room, most dudes know their wife gonna have sex with him. He offers, she going. And guess what? You gonna be upset. Instead of saying, well, shoot, you better get some money, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? If you gonna go, you better bring something back. Don't come back here with no wet behind and no drop pocket. You better get 20, 25 bands out of something. Y'all remember that movie, The Distant Exposure, and Cub was offended? Man, it's a skit my man did. He talking about how much that dude offer you? She said $300,000 and some dollars. He said, well, shoot, for $300,000, I can buy some new feelings. Nigga say, boy, you should have did that. That boy said I could buy some new pillows. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying I ain't being light, but at the end of the day, though, right man walk in the room, boy, your wife might go. And you know what some dudes gonna be? They gonna be sad. Man, how she did me like that? What you mean how she like this here? I seen a clip. Dude said, is there anybody at this show you'll go backstage with for over your man right now? She said, the baby. And look, you know what them whole niggas did? Offered her 2 backstage passes to go back there with her. And you know what she did? Left that nigga right there. She was like, it's the baby. So I'll be right back. You gonna be right back, but I ain't gonna be here. I'll tell you that. I ain't finna cry and weep about it or nothing. That's cool. I sure hope the baby gonna pay where you stay at, because boy, you ain't living here when you get back. But it's just the advent of it, you know what I'm saying? You a regular dude, and this man got some type of status, power, authority. No, most women don't even want dudes. They just want some dudes with some status. Just a little bit of clout. He did cry, though. He did cry. He know the clip I'm talking about. Cuz cried. Boy, I done seen that clip about 6-7 times. Cuz cried. On 6 different people talk about it. He was like, are you serious? I paid for you to come out here. Baby say, I'm going to holler at you. White people, too. She did. Man, look here, man. Most of these women ain't going to tell you. You don't even want to know what some of these women be doing at these concerts when they go see some of these dudes, man. You think all them women who were throwing their panties on stages at some of these shows ain't had no man at the house? You know how disrespectful that is, that you left with drawers on and came back with none? Where your panties at, baby? I threw them at Luther. I threw them at Teddy. I did this, I did that. Yeah, play with it. She around here. Whole time she ain't even come to listen to the music. She lusting after this nigga. She hoping he catch eye of her so she can go back in the back and have sex with him. And she gonna come home and hug you and cook you some ramen noodles. Don't say nothing. Oh, you done found it, huh? That nigga went and found it. Hey, cut it out. Nobody want to hear that crap. You're always capping, boy. 16-6. Book of Isaiah. I mean, Yasharal did it because they were groupies. They were groupies for all the gods round about. That boy say he almost wrecked, man. That junk is what it is, man. Because you know they ask you ain't ever heard no dude get asked. So if there a woman here you'll sleep with and leave your woman. You know what I'm talking about? They ask women that because at the end of the day, more women want to go upward. If she feel like she can get a better option than you, she'll take it. You think a chick who with a nigga who working at Burger King ain't gonna swap him out for a nigga making 6 times what he making? Most of the time, I told you I recognize this young, that most preachers don't even got no money. They just getting sex from the members because of the status of their position. Just from the status of their position, because women are attracted to money, status, and power. And I don't understand now in 2022, grown men don't know this. Because I knew this in high school. All you had to do is pay attention. This nigga on the football team, he getting hoes with no effort. You know what I'm talking about? No effort whatsoever. Because he got status of being a star player on the team. He ain't got to holler at no chick. He ain't got to do nothing. They coming to him. Now, I be wondering, do y'all pay attention to your surroundings? That's what I like to see. Like, oh, if you got a bit of status, the women will talk to you. You don't have to do anything. Oh, the nigga in school who got the nicest car in the school. All the girls talking to him. He got a car. You still on the school bus. She don't talk to you. You can't pick her up. Look here, you in your mama car. That's his car. And he got a new one because people got a little bit of change. You know what I'm talking about? So he ain't riding in the bucket. He in a used car, but he ain't in the bucket. They all talking to him. You mad. I'm just talking about because you see dudes, they get mad. Why he get all the hoes? What you mean, nigga? Why you even care? You know why he cared? Because he wanted that chick, and he smashed the chick that he wanted. That's why dudes be killing. You be wondering why a lot of these dudes be killing out here? Well, I know dudes that done shot at dudes just because he had sex with a chick he wanted to have sex with. He hadn't even talked to her yet. I'm telling you. In my line, though, dudes pride be hurt. They want to kill somebody. You know what I'm talking about? Then as you get older, you know that dudes got money and status in the neighborhood. They don't have to do all of that. The women come to them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't never seen no women go and flock looking. You see that broke dude over there walking with the busted up shoes? All of us need to go talk to him. You ain't never seen that in your life. You ever seen that? Women flocking to talk to somebody who's busted and disgusted? Because I ain't never seen it. You ever seen that? All right then, so you already know that. That's what Dr. Dre's ex-wife did. She had a basketball player. She looked at Dr. Dre. He said, I'll take care of you for the rest of your life. She felt like this is a trade-up. I'm going to swap you out. This is a better move for me. I'm going to move vertically. You know what I'm saying? Women don't want to move. They don't want to go down. They don't want to be horizontal. They want to go up. They want to know that you can make her life easier than what it is. That's why women be going hard on niggas who make their life difficult. Do you want a man and you feel like your life should be harder with him than without him? I'm talking to you. You're a woman, ain't you? Or you just want to rock your baby? I see what it is. Your answer for it? Well, what's your answer here? What about you, Michael? You want to get a man in your life be harder than what it was before you had him? Ain't a woman walking want to do that. And I don't understand how a woman intrinsically in her mind thinks that if I get this man, my life should be exponentially easier than what it is before I met him. You know what I'm saying? This is in a woman's nature. It's in her DNA. Ain't nothing nobody taught her. Her mama ain't have to tell her that. She's thinking this is what I'm getting a man for my life to be easier. And these niggas crying about that. That's whole energy. You know what I'm saying? That's whole energy in the dude, bro. Now I gotta make her life easier. Well, what did you think you were supposed to do? Make it harder, nigga? Let's be poor for decades. And she supposed to be like, I got me a good man, you know. We got a lot of debt. We ain't got no money. We barely eat. But he a good man. He a good man. You know, he hugs me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we watch TV when the lights on, because sometimes they be off. You know what I'm talking about? Every now and then we can go get us a 4 for 4. I look forward to them days. And they try to, and niggas like Kevin Samuels try to push that on women like they should be cool with that. I wouldn't set my daughter up for that. Nigga, you broke. You know what I'm saying? But in the same breath, he'll tell a young woman, why you messing with this dude? He broke. Like these niggas confused. Don't nobody want to be struggling. Shoot, men don't want to be struggling. I take that back. Some do, because some like going to play Madden at Do Dirty House. But for the most part, man, you just have to deal with that. If you don't want to do it, don't take a wife. You know what I'm saying? Be a whoremonger. You know what I'm talking about? You're going. I mean, because either way, in both scenarios, you're going to hell. If you become a husband and you don't fulfill the duty of a husband, you're going to hell because you're going to be an infidel. You denied the faith. So if you were going to go to hell because you didn't want to be a husband, you might as well go to hell for being a whoremonger. Have all your fun. You know, I've been told you that. If you're going to go to hell doing what you want. Don't halfway serve you who and go. Live your life. Because you're going anyway. I mean, that's it. What that book say? If a man don't take care of his own, especially they of his own household, what is it? He's an infidel. He's denied the faith. This man said, if you don't do it with your wife according to knowledge, he said that hinders your what? Your prayers. You know what I'm talking about? So that's detriment to you. If you take a job that you didn't want, you're not going to get the reward of a righteous man. You understand what I'm telling you? That's what I'm saying. If the flip side is you're still going to lose, you might as well just go be a whoremonger, have your fun, because you was going to get that same reward anyway. Why go to hell halfway doing it? Just go all the way with it, or just go do what you want. See, that's what most brood problem is. You feel like, well, I'm doing a little bit of. See, that's what you done got away with your whole life. People let you halfway do stuff. So you feel like halfway doing something is as good as actually doing it. It is not. You are stagnant. You are mediocre. You're a loser. You suck. You do not excel. You are incompetent. And who is going to discard of you? So it would be better for you to be great, to excel, to be competent. You know what I'm talking about? To be wise and understanding and prudent in your actions and go full throttle to get a full reward. Because if you halfway do it, you're not going to get a reward. So you might as well do what you want to do if you were going to get damnation anyway. See, I know some people be like, he telling people to sin. No, I'm telling you, if you're going to halfway serve Yahuwah, you already sinning, so you might as well sin how you want. You know what I'm talking about? Don't play with it. If you're going to do it, do it. If you not, then go. It's better for you to just go do what you want than to be like, what you mean you never knew me? I did many wonderful works in your name. Come on, cuz. You know you was a work of iniquity, boy. That's right. That man said, I'd rather you be hot or cold rather than lukewarm. Since you lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out my mouth. That is the most apropos word-wise to put it. Just might as well just do it. Don't halfway do it. Just do it. And you'll get a full reward. That's what he told you, right? Don't let no man take your crown. But we be taking our own crown. You know what I'm saying? Because you lazy in your labor. You know what I'm saying? Why be lazy? You know why you lazy? Because people have allowed you to be lazy in other areas of your life. So now you've been comfortable with being lazy, and you think you can come and serve Yahuwah with laziness. Because then that we just read, cursed be he that do the work of Yahuwah deceitfully. And what did that translate to? Slackness, slothfulness, laziness. That man don't want that. That man don't want that. Because when you lazy and doing something, that means you're not doing it from the heart, which means you don't want to do it. That means he don't want you because you don't want him. He said, I love those that what? Love me. Because one thing about Yahuwah never going to be lax or lazy with nothing that he gives unto you. He ain't never going to be slack or lazy in his labor towards you. So that is an even swap, no swindle that he expects for you not to be lazy and slack in your labor towards him. You can't even be mad with him about that. That's a just weight and a just balance. Has it, in any of your experience, has Yahuwah ever been slack or lazy? So then you can't be slack and lazy with him. It ain't even right. And I'm really more referring to these dudes that's always crying about what they got to do for. That's not the hallmark of a man. Now, of course, a man ain't looking at it like, oh, I'm just here to pay bills. Because if I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to extract a value and benefit from you that goes beyond your vagina and your ability to cook meals. Do you know what I'm saying? As a man, you're supposed to demand that first quarter. Okay, you want me to take care of you. That's fine. I must extract. There has to be some type of contribution to what I'm doing that's going to benefit me that does not contain your vagina and your ability to cook a meal. Because that's nothing. Anybody can do that. Every woman has a vagina. Every woman can't cook, but every woman has a vagina. That's not a value extraction. See, your mamas and your aunties and your grandmas told you that was a value extraction. And then you had weak men who just be like, well, she cooking clean. That's enough. Most women don't even know what to do with a man that say, I don't care nothing about that. Can you do ABC 1, 2, 3 on what I got going on and get it done in the time frame that I stated for it to get done? Or I'm going to just get rid of you and get somebody in here who can. Because I don't want you to do it on Thursday when I said I needed it done on Tuesday. And I'm not accepting on Thursday because I got backed up. I don't give a damn what you got backed up on. That need to be done at 2 o'clock on Tuesday forthwith. Because at the end of the day, I'm leading you, I'm guiding you, I'm providing you, I'm teaching for you. You're going to do what I asked you to do when I asked you to do it in the time frame that I asked you to get it done. Or you're not beneficial to me. What am I keeping you here for? Because that's what Yahuwah going to do to you. Ain't that what he did to that man, that prophet in 1 Kings 13? He said, don't go back the way that you came here from and don't drink no water and eat no bread in this place. Is that not what he told him? And what did he do, Stanley? He did the opposite. And what did Yahuwah do to him? Got him out of here. Didn't sit back and say, I understand you. Got him out of here. You didn't do what I asked you to do. What did he do with Saul? I need you to do this and this right here, right? And what did Saul do? Didn't do it. And what did he do? I got a new king. I'm going to get rid of you. Because I asked you to do something. You did not fulfill what I asked you to do. I don't care why you didn't get it done. I don't care what was going on around you. I gave you a task. I expect completion. You know what I'm saying? Most of us ain't raised like that. Did you have your people really hold you to task on when they told you to do something? And if you didn't get it done in that time frame, that they really held you to task for not completing it? Or did they give you a little grace or it's not that big of a deal? My people didn't play them type of games. I told you to do this. See, because sometimes, and that's where we get messed up at, because sometimes they enforce it, sometimes they don't. Oh, she looked like she played no games. But see, No, but see, when somebody who don't play with it, and then you get something, you know, dealing with them, oh, I got to get this done, or it's a consequence. Yeah, it's going to be a consequence. You know what I'm saying? But when you know that if you don't get something done and there's no consequence, then you don't really move with the motivation to be concerned with fulfilling what they're asking you to do. Because you know whether you do it or not, you're not going to suffer anything for not doing it. If you remember that prophecy, I think it's in Luke 12, when he said he'll give many stripes to those that know to do good but didn't. Because to whom much is given, much is required. If I'm giving you a lot, I'm going to require a lot back from you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't understand dudes. If he gave you a word, why you take days off from preaching? How does that happen? If he's giving you a word, I don't understand that. You know what I'm talking about? Because he's going to extract that back from you. Now, that doesn't mean that you got to be no a-hole about it. But if you give this woman something to do, you're not wrong for expecting it to be done in the time frame that you laid out. If you're doing what you're supposed to do as a man, you have a right to say this is unacceptable. And there's a consequence for that. You know what I'm saying? Now, back in the day, unfortunately, they put their hands on the women. Don't put no hands on them. That ain't cool. Ain't nothing a woman could do to make you put your hands on her. All I'm saying, unless she fought you. Now, that's your business if you want to fight back. You know what I'm talking about? Because I ain't going to tell you sit there and get beat up and hit with irons and all that type of stuff. I'm just telling you stories that my homeboys done told me. You know what I'm saying? But you talking about there's nothing a woman should be able to say or do to make you put your hands on her. You should just leave. And when I say just leave, not leave to cool off, I mean just leave. If you feel like you got to put your hands on a woman, that's not the woman for you. Just remove yourself from that situation or circumstance. Ain't no way in the world I'm going to be putting my hands on no woman and living like that. She make me mad, I slap her. She make me mad, I punch her. She do this and do that. Because now I deserve the jail time and the misery that I'm going to get for staying in a situation that is moving me to anger to the point that I want to put my hands on this person. I deserve to go to jail. I deserve every negative thing that come along with that because I could have easily just removed myself from that situation. Clearly, this is not the woman for me because I'm being moved to the point that I want to be violent with somebody I know I can beat up. So let me just leave. Because I'm not finna be fighting in here with this woman. This ain't the woman for me if I want to hit her. That's an instant flag in your brain. Clearly, this is not the woman for you. You want to hit her. Why do you want to do that? Why would you stay there? Well, guess what dudes be doing? They stay there, don't they? Fight her every day. My homeboy told me, yeah, man, my old lady hit me with an iron last night. And you stay? Man, she just be tripping. Nigga, I would have left. I'm talking about literally got all my stuff and left. I'm not staying in no house nigga hit me with no iron. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, he talking about waking up, she got the pistol on him. I'm not living like that. That's not love. I can't there's no way in the world I can love a woman I want to punch her in her face. I'm out of here. Man, I'm out of here. I can't finish. Let me get out of here, man. We'll pick this stuff up on Wednesday, man. Still talking about Moab, man. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, man. I appreciate y'all time this evening. But one thing about it, man, just be a man, man. If you don't want to be a caretaker, man, don't take no wife. Don't create no family. Don't cry about it. Be a man and handle your business. You know what I'm talking about? And I guarantee you, come tell you, every women here saying you could go find 1,000 women. I'm talking about that woman could be worth $200,000, $300,000, $1 million. Y'all see it with them celebrity women all the time. Don't them celebrity women still be wanting to get with a dude who make more money than them and they want him to take care of her? She don't want to pay all this junk. She want him because that's intrinsic. That's nature. No matter nothing in modern society or any of that is going to change the fact that a woman wants a man who's going to make her life easier. And you're going to get a particular reaction if she is a woman. Let me just qualify that. From a woman, if you make her life easy. When you hear all these dudes talking about these women don't submit, these women don't do that, it's either they not a man or they broke. You know what I'm saying? Because if you a man and you not broke, that woman ain't finna be doing all that with you. For what? You're giving her, she can clearly look at you submitted to yourself. So it's nothing for me to submit to you. I can trust you with my life, nigga. I ain't never had to worry about hitting nigga. Hey, I need some money for some groceries. Oh, we ain't got it this week. We got to wait till next week. You know what I'm saying? It's people who live like, I ain't talking about, hey, there was a dip. I'm talking about this is regular for them. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, we ain't got no money for no groceries this week. I came home, the lights off. Oh, I ain't paid the bill. We're going to have to get some candles. We might have to run the extension cord to the neighbor house. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about every once in a while. We talking about, we done had a conversation. A woman will struggle with you, but she ain't trying to struggle with you for years, though. You know what I'm saying? That's what dudes don't understand. They be like, they don't want to struggle with you. She'll struggle with you. She ain't got no, she be like, you got a vision and a plan. She say, you know what? I'll thug it with you for a couple years. But if she done gave you your womb, and now them couple years done turned to 12, and we still broke, and I done gave you my womb 3-4 times, oh, she gonna make your life a living hell. It's gonna be her duty and her soul to punish you. You know what I'm talking about? Dudes don't be knowing that they're. Am I lying though? If y'all was in a situation like that, you're gonna punish every day. Look at it, broke. You're gonna talk to him any kind of way. You gonna do him any kind of way, broke nigga. Okay, play. You know why you feel that way? Because you ain't never been around here broke for 12 years and gave a nigga your womb 3-4 times. You know what I'm talking about? Well, acrimony. Only difference is she hadn't gave him her womb. Yeah. Man, that woman thugged it out with that nigga for 10 years. Nigga, she had the right to punish him. She struggled with you for a decade. I ain't getting nothing, but that woman gonna punish you. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what? I can't even be mad with her. She gonna punish you. You could be like, I finally hit, and you did hit, and that's fine. And he was willing to, he was willing to ride with her. Because now this is the reverse. If you any type of man, and you know that woman thugged it with you for 10 years while you were broke, and you hit your number, oh, you know you're going to bless her. Because he was ready to do it. He shot her some bread on the strip. You know what I'm talking about? But you had to duck him off. And the chick who was like, hey, I believe in what you got going on, she got the benefit. Because he wasn't looking to get no benefit from, he wasn't looking to give your benefit to this woman. The benefit was always for you. But at the same token, boy, a woman can't thug it with you that long, boy, and she not going to punish you. See, I know it, man, you thinking she's supposed to be cool with that. Well, that woman going to punish you, boy. Boy, 10 years a long time, boy. I think it's how you say it. She going to make your life hell. You know what I'm talking about? And then guess what the dudes be? They be mad with her. Bro, she be talking crazy to me. Well, damn, nigga, you been with her for 15 years, nigga. Nigga, you still catching the bus. Man, but I appreciate y'all, man. I bless y'all in the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. You who are willing, man. We'll pick it up on Wednesday, man. Make it do what it do. And until that time. What's up, bro?